Chapter 2158. Sima Yue felt that if she could survive this time, she must do what she wanted to do and do what she wanted to do in time. For example, to eat someone. There were many things that she wanted to do before, but did not do. If she really died here today, then she would never have the chance to do those things. The lightning tribulation was getting stronger and stronger. Sima Yue, who was used to being struck by lightning, could not withstand more than a few of them. Soon, she was struck and fell down. This did not include the lightning tribulation that was absorbed by Little Purple. If not for Little Purple, she would have died. Lying on the ground, she looked at the lightning tribulation clouds in the sky and sighed at the strength of heaven. The lightning tribulations that she had faced before were nothing compared to this. However, after she fell down, the lightning tribulation did not strike her anymore. Instead, it would fall near her every time. Only some small lightning tribulation in the middle would fall on her. She knew that the cloud spirit was going easy on her. It was protecting her to the best of its ability. However, it was merciless when it struck her grandfather. The lightning tribulation was so fierce that her heart trembled when she saw it. Fortunately, there was Little Purple. It was really powerful this time. Wong, there was a vibration in the cultivation room. Then, there was a rainbow-colored light above the cultivation room. Seeing this, Sima Yue felt more at ease. At least, he had leveled up. If he could pass this tribulation, he would be an emperor. The door of the cultivation room opened and the Ghost King came out. When he opened the door, he saw the elixir and the essence of the spirit tree. Sima Yue was afraid that when he came out, she would be gone or unable to speak. So, she put the elixir at the door and left a note to tell him what it was. The Ghost King looked at the elixir and smiled. His aura was still a little weak and had not settled down completely, but it gave people a feeling of emptiness. When his aura settled down, he would look like ant foam. He ate the elixir and looked up at the lightning tribulation clouds in the sky. There was no fear in his eyes. He came to Sima Yue and waved his hand to set up a barrier to protect her. At this time, the lightning tribulation fell. He did not have time to say anything to her and quickly flew into the sky. As soon as he came out, all the lightning tribulation fell on him. The tribulation clouds had become even stronger after he had advanced to the next level. Sima Yue lay on the ground and watched in horror. Outside the tribulation clouds, countless people saw the Ghost King come out of seclusion. They saw him advance to the Imperial Emperor realm. He was known as the only person to advance to the Imperial Emperor realm in so many years. Everyone was boiling with excitement, as if they had seen a bright future. If King could advance, it meant that this world could advance, and they had hope. They were so excited that they didn't even think about it. The heavenly Tao hadn't changed, and they had no way to advance. As for the method used by the Ghost King, could they use it? How could they have such resources? Unfortunately, they were too excited to realize this problem. This lightning tribulation is a death tribulation. Chan Shan said, "Death calamity." Everyone's faces changed. They all knew what a death tribulation was. The lightning tribulation wouldn't stop until the person was struck to death. Wu Lingyu was worried that Yue would be struck to death. She tried to break free, but to no avail. "Dark, let go of me," he roared. "Let you go? Let you die?" Dark said faintly, "Although I'm not interested in your life and death, I promised her that I won't let you go. Dark King, let us go. It's too cruel to watch your daughter die in front of you." Sima Lu Xian said, "Cruel? It has nothing to do with me. It's not cruel to me." Dark said, "Everyone." Dark saw that they were struggling and snorted coldly. "Just give up. I've promised everything, and there's nothing I can't do." Chan Shan was also restrained, but unlike them, she couldn't move at all. She turned her head to look at Dark and said, "Do you have a way?" "What way?" Dark asked. "Stop pretending. I know you care about Yue. You're not worried at all. Is there any way to save her?" Chan Shan asked. Dark thought for a while, then shook his head honestly and said no. Black Shadow and Huan, who had just rushed over, saw this scene and couldn't help but twitch the corners of their mouths. Black Shadow cried out, "My king, that's a death tribulation. If you don't save Miss, what will Miss do?" "Shut up," She's not dead yet. What are you howling for? Dark slapped Black Shadow and sent him flying. Soon, the Black Shadow ran back while howling. Huan glanced at Black Shadow faintly, then looked at Dark and said, "My king, what should we do about Miss?" He was still asking him for a solution in a roundabout way. "What should we do?" Ming grunted coldly. "Both of you, fuck off. You've been chattering since the moment you arrived. How annoying." Black Shadow and Huan, "My king, you've never been so anxious before. You're obviously very worried. Why are you pretending?" Someone snorted in his heart. Dark saw the look in Black Shadow's eyes. How could he not know what he meant? He wanted to slap him again. Black Shadow quickly retreated. "Oof." Dark snorted, then looked at Sima Yue lying on the ground and said, "Why aren't you taking out that damn dog of yours to block the tribulation for you? Are you going to drag it down with you?" His voice was not loud, but Sima Yue could still hear it clearly. Damn dog? Little Black? She didn't know if Little Black would be angry and bite him when he heard this name. However, she knew that he definitely didn't mention Little Black casually at this time. Otherwise, why would he only mention Little Black among the guys inside? Moreover, Little Black's identity was special. The last lightning tribulation didn't kill it, but only sealed it. This time, the lightning tribulation shouldn't take its life. As for those who were making a lot of noise inside, it was better not to let them out. If they couldn't find a solution to this kind of lightning tribulation, they wouldn't be able to do anything except hurt everyone together. After resting for so long, she felt that she could move her body. She reached out and patted Little Black's head, then said, "Little Black, I know that you're very confused a lot of times. You don't know who you are or how you came to be. Last time, the lightning tribulation sealed you. I don't know if it can remove your seal this time. If it can, I hope that you'll still be you after the seal is removed." Woof, woof, woof. Little Black barked twice at Sima Yue. Yu, what are you talking about? It's so profound. I don't understand. What a powerful lightning tribulation. I'll protect you. After barking twice, Little Black ran out. Chapter 2159. With Little Black, she didn't know if the cloud spirit felt relieved or if it was because of Little Black himself, but there were a lot more tribulation lightning here, and all of them entered Little Black's body. Sima Yue looked at Little Black, hoping that he could hold on. What's the situation with that dog? The people outside were surprised to see Little Black withstanding so many tribulation lightning. A dog that was not struck to death by lightning and could still sit on the barrier, as if nothing had happened after withstanding so many tribulation lightning. Was this still a dog? I've long heard that the little princess has a powerful dog by her side. It's said that she brought it with her since she was young. I don't know where such a dog came from. If you have such a dog by your side, you won't be afraid of the tribulation lightning. You can get the little princess's things? You must be dreaming. That's right. That damn dog only has this little use. Ming heard those envious voices and said indifferently, Huan and Black Shadow. They all knew Little Black's identity, so they knew how rare it was. Only their king would look down on it so much. The Ghost King can't hold on any longer. Huan said, after suffering so many tribulation lightning, it's already good that he didn't die. Ming snorted. Miss and the Ghost King can't go on like this. They will be struck to death. Black Shadow said anxiously. The tribulation lightning had been going on for so long, but its power had not weakened at all. Instead, it was getting stronger and stronger. After doing something that goes against the heavenly Tao, they still have to be struck. Ming said, Yue isn't worried. Why are you guys so worried? King, you mean Miss deliberately let the Ghost King be struck? Black Shadow reacted, why? After thinking about it, Huan understood and said, no matter what method they use to advance, if they are not recognized by the heavenly Tao, they will always be somewhat incomplete. If we let it go, even if he advances now, he won't make much progress in the future. It's better to take this opportunity to make up for the incomplete heavenly Tao. I see. Black Shadow moved. I say, can you be a little more careful? You're my subordinate. How embarrassing is it for you to go out like this? Ming said disdainfully. Black Shadow retorted. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. I've never seen you grow. Get out of my way. Ming said disdainfully and then said to Huan, "You should teach him more when you have time in the future. It's too embarrassing to go out like this. How could such a person be the left and right? This is the king's own choice." Huan responded faintly, "Is it really my choice? Why would I choose him?" Ming was stunned. "You're not lying to me?" "I dare not." "All right. I must have been out of my mind at that time. It wasn't normal. Why didn't you?" Black Shadow SUS, of course, Miss Yoyuet, uses SUA. In fact, Ming didn't want to explain it to him, but he felt that the others who were bound by him were looking at him. If he didn't make them feel at ease, they wouldn't be content. So he said, "It's easy to solve the problem in front of us, but it's also difficult. It's nothing more than having the heavenly Tao acknowledge it. If you can advance, it means that that thing can make up for the heavenly Tao. As long as it's domineering enough, there's no problem." The chaotic river, Black Shadow, finally became smart for once. Miss seems to be hesitating. The others also noticed that Sima Yue was holding the jade bottle in her hand and had not moved. She was hesitating whether to release the chaos in it. What is she hesitating about? She knows it herself. Sima Yue lay on the ground, holding the jade bottle tightly in her hand. Fall or not fall? What was she hesitating about? Of course, it was because water was conductive. What if the water didn't make the heavenly Tao recognize it, but with the power of the thunder tribulation, they would die directly? Bang! The Ghost King, who had suffered too much thunder tribulation, finally couldn't hold on and fell heavily to the ground. At the same time, the enchantment also dissipated. Little Black also fell beside her. The little guy had been struck so hard that not a single strand of hair was left. When it saw Sima Yue, it whimpered twice, as if blaming itself for not being able to continue protecting her. Sima Yue struggled to get up and carried it to the Ghost King's side. A bolt of thunder tribulation fell, causing her to fall down and lie on the ground. Little Purple came to her side and also fell down. "How are you?" The Ghost King struggled to get up and wanted to come over to see her, but he was struck by the thunder tribulation. However, he still insisted on walking over. Sima Yue passed the jade bottle to him and told him what the cloud spirit said. Then she said, "If you feel that the heavenly Tao in your body has been replenished, try opening this. That's our only hope. Hold on a little longer." The Ghost King set up a very small enchantment beside her. He looked up at the thunder tribulation and felt that it was brewing another big thunder tribulation. And he had a feeling that the thunder tribulation this time wouldn't be easy. He looked down at the jade bottle in his hand. Should he try it? He didn't mind, but he didn't want to implicate his granddaughter. He smiled bitterly. Did they have a choice? He opened the lid and poured out the chaotic river water. The river water quickly drowned the two people, the cat and the dog. The river water spread and almost covered the entire kingdom. Black Shadow saw this scene and couldn't help but sigh. Did Miss move the river from the chaotic world here? All the onlookers were stunned by the Ghost King's actions. What was he trying to do? Was he going to drown the entire kingdom? After pouring out all the water, he sat down cross-legged and waited for the last thunder tribulation. If this method didn't work, then the thunder tribulation this time would most likely take their lives. Even if they were lucky enough to survive, they wouldn't be able to withstand the thunder tribulation. Sima Yue looked at the Ghost King's figure. Even at this time, she could still feel his determination to not fall. This thunder tribulation was indeed much more powerful than the previous ones. After it came into contact with the chaotic river water, it spread rapidly and the entire surface of the water turned silvery white. In addition to the lightning from other places, the entire kingdom seemed to have become a cage made of thunder tribulation. The small enchantment around Sima Yue didn't have any effect at all. It was broken by the thunder tribulation immediately. At that moment, she used all her strength to hug the cat and dog beside her. Sima Yue felt that she was going to disappear. She seemed to see her parents crazily rushing over and Ling Yu's desperate eyes. There was a deep reproach in his eyes, as if he was accusing her of not keeping her promise. She seemed to have promised him that she wouldn't do such a dangerous thing again. "I'm sorry, I went back on my word again." Chapter 2160. The scene in front of them frightened everyone. They never thought that they would see something like this one day. Someone even used a shadow stone to record this scene and spread it around. Later on, many people studied what kind of water it was that caused the lightning tribulation to end. When the lightning tribulation struck, the heavenly axiom felt the aura of the chaotic river and finally acknowledged the Ghost King. In addition, the cloud spirit intentionally went easy on him, so the lightning tribulation cloud quickly dissipated. Once the lightning tribulation cloud passed, the power that bound them disappeared. Wu Lingyu immediately teleported to Sima Yoyue's side. However, just as he hugged Sima Yoyue, before he could save her, he was sent flying by a force. He hugged Sima Yoyue and bore the brunt of the force. After he stabilized himself, he turned around and saw the black fog in the sky. Someone wanted to go through the black fog to help the Ghost King. But once he entered, he let out a scream. Roar! A low roar came from the black fog, which made everyone's hair stand on end. Then it began to move slowly. As long as it came into contact with someone, they would hear that person scream. What is that? Everyone stepped back in fear. The more unknown, the more fearful. Others did not know, but Wu Lingyu knew. This black fog was Little Black, who had its seal removed, and it was flying towards them. Sima Yoyue was in a critical situation now. At this time, Little Z had fainted because it had absorbed too much lightning tribulation, so it could not suppress it. If Little Black attacked at this time, the consequences would be unimaginable. Roar! Little Black's roar was filled with intense anger and hatred. Everyone could feel that it was filled with killing intent towards Sima Yoyue at this moment. Just as Ming was about to attack, Sima Yoyue seemed to have sensed something and called out in her unconscious state, "Little Black, be good." Little Black's body paused, as if it was struggling. Finally, the black fog slowly gathered and turned into Little Black. Little Black dragged its injured body and slowly came to Sima Yoyue. It reached out its claws to touch her, but it passed through her body that was about to dissipate. Woof! It let out a weak cry before fainting as well. Sima Yoyue did not know how long she had been unconscious for. When she slowly regained her consciousness, she remembered what happened in the capital city. She did not die. She was saved again. She did not know how her grandfather was. She tried to open her eyes, but her eyelids were too heavy and she could not open. She released her divine sense, wanting to know where she was, but she was stunned by the scene in front of her. What did she see? Was that her body in the human realm? After so many years, her body was still maintained, was still in good condition. Why was there still a faint white light? That of the white light was of the Sima of the Yoyue of the of Sima of Sima of Sima of Sima. Sima of Sima. At this moment, the door to the secret room opened and Mu Si walked in. After not seeing him for so many years, he had completely grown up. Sima Yoyue wanted to call out to him, but she couldn't make a sound. Master, when will you wake up? Mu Si looked at Sima Yoyue. His eyes were red. Master, as long as you wake up, I will not think of anything else. I will be obedient. I have activated my constitution. I am very powerful now. I have learned everything you taught me. Wake up quickly and check on my homework, all right? Sima Yoyue wanted to open her mouth to reply, but no sound came out. At this moment, the door of the secret room opened again. This time, a person in a black cloak came in. Sima Yoyue looked at the cloak and thought of the black-robed men. It was them. They were not from the Sage Pavilion. She had exposed them at the Sage Pavilion. Could it be that the Guild Alliance and the people on the road did not get rid of them? And NBSU, read The Crazy Wife. 5th Miss of the Divine Doctor. Chapter 2160. Crazy Wife, the anti-theft mode has been activated. Only the first half of the chapter is not connected to the previous chapter. Please search the hidden parts on Baidu. Heartless plus water. Search for Crazy Wife. 5th Miss of the Divine Doctor. Watch. Chapter 2161. The Sima family was in an uproar today. The news of Sima Yoyue waking up spread throughout the family in just a few minutes. Sima Qing, Sima Zhiyuan, Sima Lai, Huang Ying, Sima He Shun, Sima Lu Xian, Yuka Luo, Sima Lu Feng, Sima Lu Yun, and the others all ran over immediately. Seeing that Sima Yue was really in front of them, their eyes all turned red. Sima Yue was also very emotional when she saw them, but she also felt that it was funny. Sima Zhiyuan was holding the teacups, Sima Lu Yun was holding the pen, and Huang Ying was holding the oar. They really rushed over the moment they heard that she woke up. They didn't even have time to put down the things in their hands. However, seeing that her parents were also here, she felt a little more at ease. The fact that they were here meant that there shouldn't be any problems in the ghost realm. Old ancestor, great-grandfather, great-uncle, grandfather, grandma, father, mother, Uncle Lu Yun, and Uncle Lu Feng. Sima Yue bowed to them. I'm sorry to have made you all worried. Good, you're finally awake. Huang Ying went up and hugged her. My poor darling, you've suffered too much. Grandma, I'm fine now. Sima Yue hugged her tightly. You're fine now. You were just watching before. It was too heart-wrenching. Sima Lai went up and pulled her back. All right. Yu is already woken up. Don't cry anymore. I'm not crying. Huang Ying glared at Sima Lai, but she also let go of Sima Yue. All right, don't just stand here. Let's go back first. Yue definitely has a lot of things to ask us. Sima Qing said, who dared to disobey the old ancestors' words. So the group walked back to the family. Yuka Luo came to Sima Yue's side and held her hand tightly. This was the first time she had the chance to get close to her daughter. Mother, what exactly happened? Why did I return to my body? How's grandfather? Where's Lingyu? Sima Yue had too many questions in her heart. They're all fine. Let's talk as we walk. Yuka Luo patted her hand and pulled her to keep up with the rest. During the great calamity that day, you and your grandfather were both heavily injured and on the verge of death. You almost vanished into thin air. Yuka Luo still had some lingering fear when she recalled the scene that day. She unconsciously tightened her grip on Sima Yue. Sima Yue also remembered the situation at that time. At that time, she really thought that she was going to die, so she was very surprised to be alive again. Yuka Luo reined in her emotions and continued. Your grandfather's condition is better. He will be fine after resting for a while. But you're different. If it wasn't for the Nether King, I'm afraid. Sima Yue could imagine how they felt when they saw that they were about to die. She patted Yuka Luo's hand and said, Mother, I'm here. I'm sorry, Mother was frightened. Yuka Luo said, How did Ming save me? Sima Yue tried to divert her attention. At that time, your soul was about to dissipate. He used his underworld energy to control your body that day. Ghost Realm Imperial Capital. Everyone gradually woke up from the lightning calamity. Looking at the devastation, no one had the mood to lament. After knowing that the Ghost King's condition was not that bad, Yuka Luo placed all her attention on Sima Yue. Wu Lingyu was transferring spiritual energy to Sima Yue, trying to stabilize her condition. But her body was becoming more and more transparent, showing signs of dissipating. No, don't. Wu Lingyu hugged her in fear, but realized that he could not hold her anymore. You promised me that you would live well. You can't die. Yue, I beg you, don't leave me behind. Yuka Luo saw the tears at the corner of Wu Lingyu's eyes and was stunned. He was actually crying. Seeing Sima Yue's body becoming more and more transparent, she turned to look at Chan Shan. Mother, quickly save Yue. Let me try. Chan Shan went over, her hand emitting a faint glow. That glow allowed her to grab onto Yue's hand. She tried to transfer the spiritual energy in her body to Sima Yue's body, trying to control her dissipating soul. And in the Crazy Wife, Divine Doctor 5th Miss, that you read Chapter 2161. Divine Doctor the Anti-Theft mode has been activated. Only the first half of the chapter is not connected to the previous chapter. Please search for the hidden parts on Baidu. Heartless plus water. After entering, search for Crazy Wife. Divine Doctor 5th Miss Watch. Chapter 2162. She did not know what that ball of white light was. But when she inherited the inheritance, cloud spirits struck her especially hard, saying that this thing would change many things in the future. Could it be that it meant that it would help her merge? What are you thinking about? Yukaluo noticed that she was distracted and asked her. Nothing much. What happened after that? Sima smiled. Since Nether King said that it would be best for you to return to your body, we naturally did not object to it. So we requested to come along. Yukaluo continued to recall. Nether did not agree, right? Indeed. Even if we are your parents, he did not bring us back. Yukaluo was speechless about Nether, but he brought Lingyu with him. He actually brought Lingyu with him? Sima was surprised. Based on her understanding of Nether, he should not have brought anyone with him. Lingyu's attitude was firm, so Nether King agreed. Ming agreed. Yukaluo said, we only heard about it after we came. When Ming brought you here, it gave the family members a fright. They thought that some powerful enemy had come. After they saw Wu Lingyu, they did not get into a conflict. For someone like Nether who directly entered the territory of a powerhouse, it would be seen as a provocation. Sima was thankful that she brought Lingyu along. Patriarch and the others listened to Lingyu's words and immediately brought them to the secret room. Ming sent your soul back to your body and then fed you some kind of pill. The thing in your body began to emit white light and enveloped you completely. After you stabilized, Lingyu went to the devil realm. He said that the situation there could not wait any longer. Sima understood that the devil realm was not doing well. Previously, when she asked him to go back, he insisted on saving her mother. Then when you came over, how was grandfather? He recovered long ago. Yukaluo said, because we knew that you were fine, we did not rush back. Firstly, it was because your grandfather had just been robbed and needed to recuperate. We were worried if we left without a care. Secondly, it was because the Anaheim had messed up those dynasties, so we cleaned them up. We only came back when the world of spirits and souls had almost stabilized. What about Anaheim? Sima asked, although the way and time of her return were a bit different from what she had expected. Speaking of which, her trip to the ghost realm was already quite successful. His only regret was that he did not manage to kill Anaheim. However, Mou and the others also said that it was best to let grandfather deal with Anaheim. Thinking about it this way, it wasn't a big deal. When Anaheim saw that your grandfather had advanced in rank, she ran away. However, he was quickly caught and brought back. Most of the people she met were actually loyal to your grandfather. Previously, he had been instigated by her because he had been in seclusion for too long, causing some misunderstandings. Therefore, the Anaheim didn't have many places to hide. Did grandfather kill her? He should have been killed. At that time, no one knew what the two of them were talking about inside. But your grandfather was the only one who came out. And Anaheim's life tablet is also broken. It's good that she's dead. It was a pity that she couldn't see it with her own eyes. The capital was destroyed in that calamity, but now it has returned to its original state. Sima then thought of a very important question. Mother, how long have I been in a coma? It will be your 200th birthday in 2 months. How long do you think you've been sleeping for? Waiting every day is so long. Mother is really worried that you'll keep sleeping. Yukaluo was not even willing to think about the waiting time. Sima was speechless. It would be her 200th birthday in 2 months? Then didn't she sleep for tens of years? To the clan, you've been sleeping for more than 100 years. Sima Lufeng coincidentally heard her words and said. Sima thought about it. Wasn't that right? She had been in the ghost realm for tens of years. Adding these tens of years, it would be more than 100 years. More than 100 years was not a short period of time. She didn't expect that after so many years, the clan did not relax at all. It's really a long time. She sighed. It's really long. Our clan has already developed into a first-rate force. Sima Lufeng continued. Now when we talk about the Sima family, we don't dare to offend them. So fast. With all the things you've done for the clan, this speed isn't considered fast. Sima Luyan said. She and Yukaluo were talking about the same thing. The others started to join in their conversation. That's right. You've left so many things. If we can't develop, wouldn't we be too useless? Sima Lufeng said. Sima thought about it and agreed. She had left so many ancient ores, so many ancient spirit beasts, and the inheritance of perfect fusion spirit techniques, imperial beast arts, countless ancient pill recipes, etc. The Sima family wasn't stupid. It was impossible for them to not develop under such circumstances. But she still felt that this speed was too fast. Other than leaving so many things for us, you also left us a condition for development. Sima He-shun continued. A very important condition. Sima Yue was confused. Other than those things, she didn't remember leaving anything else. Connections. Sima He-shun continued. You saved those presidents in the Sage Pavilion and even found out about the Black Robe Men scheme, so everyone gave us a lot of convenience because of you. There are also many wandering cultivators who admire your reputation and are willing to join the clan. Now the clan has taken in many experts and talented people with different surnames. Will this bring trouble to the clan? Sima Yue asked worriedly. After all, they weren't from the clan. It was possible for them to have other ideas. We've thought about this long ago. So those who want to join the Sima family have to swear an oath. Those who aren't willing to swear an oath will be confiscated by the clan. Ah, Chin, Sima Yue cried out. Oh no, she wouldn't think that I stood her up, right? Speaking of oaths, she thought of Chin. She had promised to bring her to the human realm. Don't worry, Chin and the others followed us to the human realm. Yukaluo continued. They're now in Paramount Valley with your senior sister. The two of them really got together? When we came back, we bumped into your senior brother and sister who came to visit you. Both of them love to eat, so they got together. Yukaluo continued. Oh right, your senior brother and sister have children. They have children? Sima Yue was delighted. Doesn't that mean I'm promoted to an aunt? I'll go take a look later. Chapter 2163. The noisy clansmen immediately quieted down and looked at Sima Yue guiltily. Seeing them like this, Sima Yue knew that something had really happened to Mu Si. Yue, we didn't take good care of your disciple. Sima Ji-yuan said. Mu Si went missing 10 years ago. Yue was injured and went into a coma, leaving behind such a disciple. They actually didn't take good care of him. She really felt guilty. 10 years. Was it because of the scene she saw the last time? How did he go missing? She asked. She hoped that it wasn't what she saw. He went to see you and then disappeared. Sima He-shun said, at that time, we trusted the spirit barrier, so we didn't send anyone to guard outside. So no one saw how he went missing. Because of Mu Si's disappearance, they sent more people to the secret room. We investigated for a long time, but we couldn't find out how he went missing. We have been tracking his whereabouts all these years, but there was no news at all. It was as if he had disappeared from this continent. Although Sima Yue had been in a coma for more than 100 years, the influence she left behind had not dissipated. When everyone heard that her disciple had gone missing, they immediately started to look for him. But even under such circumstances, there was still no news of Mu Si. This was too strange. Mu Si was special to Sima Yue. In order to save her father, his father died, causing him to be bullied and deceived since he was young. He struggled in life. Ever since they met, she had felt guilty towards him. Later on, he followed her and became her only disciple. Since he was the only one, she naturally doted on him more. She personally guided his cultivation and taught him alchemy. Their relationship was not ordinary. Everyone saw that Sima Yue didn't speak, so they didn't dare to speak. They had indeed let her down in this matter. After a long time, she opened her mouth and said, I know who did it, you know? Everyone was surprised. Wasn't she in a coma? I regained consciousness for a period of time, but I couldn't move my body. Sima Yue said, I released my consciousness and happened to see that scene. I thought that it was just my imagination. Looking at it now, it should be real. Then who captured Mu Si? Men in black. Sima Yue said, black-clothed men? If someone else had said this, they might not have believed it, but since it was her, they still believed it. Haven't the men in black been dealt with? Sima Lufeng said, ever since you killed the Sage Pavilion's pavilion master, the black-robed men haven't appeared. They all said that the black-robed men were done by the Sage Pavilion. Now that the Sage Pavilion is gone, The black-robed men are finished. That might not be the case. Sima Yue said, at that time, we only knew that those black-robed men were related to the Sage Pavilion, but might not have been done by the Sage Pavilion. Perhaps it was just a collaboration or something. Or perhaps it belonged to the Sage Pavilion, but was later taken over by someone else. They haven't appeared for over 100 years. Now that they've appeared again, could it be that they want to do something? More than 100 years ago, the men in black had extended their hands to many forces in the central and inner regions. They had even made a move against the major guilds, turning the entire continent upside down. After being silent for over 100 years, they were going to appear again? I'm not surprised about this. What I'm puzzled about is why they wanted to capture Mu Si. Sima Yue said, did Mu Si go out to cause trouble? No. Sima Ji Yuan said, he rarely goes out and spends most of his time in the clan. Occasionally, he would go out with the clan to do missions, but he's always with them. After he went missing, we asked the people who went out with him. He never got into a conflict with anyone. Could it be that he was captured because he was Youngmist's disciple? Someone said softly, that shouldn't be the case. If it was because of Yu, they would have done it long ago and wouldn't have waited for over 100 years. Sima Hishun said, so it should be because of Mu Si himself. Sima Yue thought of something and furrowed her eyebrows slightly. Sima Ji Yuan and the others knew that something had happened. They waved their hands and sent their clansmen away. The crazy wife explosive, Divine Doctor 5th Young Miss that you read, Chapter 2163. Divine Doctor the Anti-Theft mode has been activated. Only half of the chapter and the previous chapter's content can't be connected. Please search for the hidden parts on Baidu, Heartless plus Water. After entering, search for Crazy Wife Explosive, Divine Doctor 5th Young Miss Watch. Chapter 2164. After everyone agreed, Sima Yue's protest was ineffective, so this matter was settled. When the Sima family heard that they were going to hold a birthday party for Sima Yue, they were all excited. These few days, they could hear their clansmen excitedly discussing this matter wherever they went. Not only that, but she was also treated as a patient. She couldn't do this, she couldn't do that. She had to rest well. They even called a few doctors to examine her body. Sima Yue was speechless. She was a doctor herself, but she still had to call people to examine her? Doctors don't treat themselves. Also, if you're hiding something from us, how would we know? That one sentence blocked all of her excuses. How was she going to tell them that the ball of white light nourished her body and soul very well, that she didn't feel anything at all, and that her body was good and she ate delicious food? They wouldn't believe her even if she said it, but she didn't want them to worry, so she felt bored like a half-disabled person in the courtyard. She moved the rocking chair to her small garden and placed fruits and snacks on the small table. She had just sent Sima Yun and the rest off, so she was sitting in the rocking chair and basking in the sun and boredom. And Lei helped her tidy up at the side. The sun was warm, and it made people feel warm. And Lei, let me tell you, it's still the sun in the human realm that's comfortable. Sima Yue sighed. Miss always says that the ghost realm is gray, but I haven't seen it before. And Lei continued, but I also feel that the human realm is the most comfortable. And Lei had been in the spirit pagoda the whole time. Because she had a lot of time, she learned quite a few things. It's been hard on you, Sima Yue said guiltily. There's nothing hard about following Mississippi. I can't help Miss at all. And Lei felt that meeting Sima Yue and being able to escape from the Eastern Lai family was really a blessing in her previous life. Sima Yue suddenly thought of something and quickly took out the small door to Little Black Lotus Realm. She injected spiritual energy and opened the passage. The moment she entered, the people inside all felt it and looked at her. Aunt Xiang. Sima Yue came to the place where the Feng people lived and said apologetically, I'm sorry to have trapped you guys here for so long. Fortunately, the time here was the same as outside, and only 100 years had passed. If there was a difference between the time here and the spirit pagoda, it would be a torture. Miss, Feng Xiang and the others were also very excited when they saw Sima Yue. Miss, did something happen to you? This. It's a long story, but it's all in the past now. Sima US said, "Come with me. The phone people can't contact you. They must be worried about you." All right. He had been here for more than 100 years. Chapter 2136. I'm not sure if it'll work. Sima US smiled and helped her to the soft couch she had prepared. Tell me about it. Chin took a deep breath as she accidentally pulled on her wound. I saw that the way you went in was about the same. If I can imitate you, I might be able to. Sima Yu expressed her thoughts. That's a good idea. Chin agreed. But there are some differences between our bodies. Even if you copy my movements, you might not be able to enter safely. Since I'm going to learn, I can't make any mistakes. Sima US said, "What do you have in mind?" You know that those national treasures are protected by infrared devices. If you want to get close quietly, you have to avoid those infrared devices. You want to use the same method? That's a good idea. We can simulate such an environment, and you can try to get through without touching any obstacles. After a while, you'll be able to grasp every position. Chin blinked. I've only seen this on TV. Have you done something like this before? Ahem, I didn't say that I was a good person. Ha ha. Who cares if you were a good person or not? Then let's try it according to your method. You should rest first. When you're better, we'll try again. Sima US said, "Is there anything you want to eat? You know how to make it? I want to eat cola chicken wings, and French fries and fried chicken drumsticks." Chin stared at her with sparkling eyes. Okay. Sima Yue quickly made what Chin wanted to eat. Of course, everyone else had shared too. Chin gnawed on the chicken drumsticks and wings and sighed in satisfaction. I can finally eat the familiar taste again. How did you make cola chicken wings? I used a type of spiritual fruit acid to replace cola. Sima Yue said, "You're so good at cooking. Your husband is so lucky. I've been here for so many years and I want to eat these things, but I can't make them taste the same." Chin said, "Just tell me what you want to eat in the future. As long as it's not something I haven't eaten before, I can basically make it taste the way you want," Sima Yue said with a smile. All right. Chin looked at her sympathetically. "You're doomed. Now that I know about your culinary skills, I'm sure I'll always ask you to cook for me." So what? Sima Yue did not feel miserable. I used to have friends and my senior sister who loved to eat. I often cook for them. Really? Of course. If you go to the human world in the future, you might be able to meet him. Especially that senior sister of mine. Eating is the most important thing in her life. It's a pity that her culinary skills are mediocre and she often poisons herself. Huh. This is quite similar to me. If you have the chance, you must meet your friends. You can come with me when I return to the human world. Chapter 2165. I know that it's hard to investigate, so I wanted to ask for your help. Sima Yue continued. But looking at you, I don't think you have the time to go back and investigate. That's true. You're just having fun in Ghost City. Sima Yue said seriously. Then I'll have to trouble Big Brother and Third Brother. Sima Yue did not stand on ceremony. I'll get them to investigate later. Siyu continued. Don't just lie there. Weren't you yelling that you were bored? Make something for me to eat. I haven't eaten anything you made for over 100 years. Forget it. I heard you yelling that you were bored at the entrance. Siyu rolled her eyes at her, thinking about how they were gluttons. She felt that it was possible. She made a table full of dishes, making Siyu extremely happy. The whole table couldn't wait to dig in. All right. Sima Yue took out 3 bottles of fruit wine and opened them. This time, she gave all the fruit wine to Cloud Spirit. These were rebrewed by Little Spirit all these years. Sima Yue smiled and gave the other bottle to Third Mo. Third Mo took the bottle, but he didn't drink it, playing with it in his hands. I'm thinking about how it tastes. Third Mo smiled. Third Mo pursed his lips, raised the bottle, and drank a mouthful, then looked at her and said, Actually, I feel that it's better if I didn't know you. I'm serious. Third Mo continued. Knowing you makes me sad that I can't see you anymore. I feel that you're no longer in this world. If I didn't know you, I wouldn't be sad if you died. Third Mo glanced at her and said lightly, Based on your past performance, your words are completely untrustworthy. Come, let's celebrate Yue finally waking up. Siyu raised the bottle and said to the two of them. Sima Yue heard this and smiled, standing up to welcome them. She saw little helper standing outside the restaurant, dressed in white. Big sister Yue. Little helper smiled at Sima Yue, moving heaven and earth. Little helper's eyes filled with tears. He reached out to hug Sima Yue, leaning his head on her shoulder, and said, Big sister Yue, you're finally back. Little helper only leaned for a while and said, I haven't eaten big sister Yue's food in a long time. Can we eat together today? Siyu heard what she said and pouted. You're so biased. You only cooked for me when I asked you to. Now that little helper is here, you take the initiative to ask him what he wants to eat. Bite you? Forget it. Just make me a dish of honey chicken wings. Siyu said, No need. These little helpers to Yue's to Yue. Yu's right, Is US to Tiestas, what's that? Siyu asked curiously. Sima Yue looked at little helper. His aura was becoming more and more similar to Yinlin's. Oh, it was the feeling of Con Man. It was really similar. She was indebted to him, but she didn't even have the chance to thank him. Yes, I know, but in my heart. Sima Yue smiled. Forget it. Let's not think about these things. Come, it's not easy for us to reunite. Let's celebrate. Somewhere in the inner area, in a huge room, a figure was hidden in the darkness. Someone pushed the door open and knelt on the floor. Master, Sima Yue is awake. Chapter 2166. It was bustling outside the Sima family. Many people were talking about Sima Yue. Sima Yue and Xiao Tong heard it when they were taking a stroll in the family. Xiao Tong smiled politely. What's there to get used to? We have to keep going. Xiao Tong looked at her. The smile on his face was much more sincere. As he smiled, his smile became bitter. Tears started to form in his eyes. You are the best diviner now. Your master will be proud of you. Sima Yue comforted him. Sima Yue patted Xiao Tong's shoulder and sighed softly. Silly child, your master doesn't want you to feel guilty for the rest of your life. He used the rest of his life to save you from death. It is his love for you. He hopes that you will be well. This requires you to walk out from the knot in your heart. No matter what others say, they're just empty words to you. Sima Yue said, but no matter what, I will support you. He was happy that there was someone who cared about him. Is it related to the men in black? Sima Yue asked. Can you predict who is the mastermind behind the men in black? Sima Yue saw his strange expression. He seemed to be surprised and in disbelief at the result of the divination. She asked, what's wrong? A very ancient aura? What does that mean? Sima Yue asked curiously. A very ancient aura. How long is it? Sima Yue thought of the aura spirits that were born in the graveyard. Those were formed after hundreds of thousands of years. But it is related. Xiao Tong said, not only that, you are also in it. I can't predict it, so I'm not sure. Xiao Tong said, your divination is surrounded by clouds. I can't see it clearly. I will go deep into it. She asked, I know. Since things are coming, let them come. I have nothing to be afraid of. Sima Yue said, thank you, Xiao Tong. But don't you all have a secret that cannot be revealed? Tell me, will you be punished? Sima Yue was worried about him. That's good. Sima Yue nodded. Oh right. Can you help me predict Mu Si? Why did they capture Xiao Tong? Is it because of his background? Is he still safe? Sima Yue couldn't understand why Mu Si was the key to this matter, but knowing that his life was not in danger, she was relieved. Your old friend is here, Yue reminded her. Zhao's guess, but he didn't say anything. I'm telling you, there's no anticipation. I am Master's disciple and was brought up by Master. Naturally, I am very similar to Master. Sima Yue guessed many things. Her brothers, Fatty Chu and the others, her senior brothers and sisters, Qin Mo and the people from the heavenly sect, but she didn't get it right. A 6 or 7-year-old child hugged her waist and complained, Ayaya, little Tin, where did you go? I've been waiting for you for so long. Chapter 2167. Sima Yue looked at the little fellow who pounced on her. She was wearing a yellow dress, and her hair was tied up in 2 buns. Her little face was round and made people want to pinch it. Her complaining tone was so familiar, as if they were really close. But she had been sleeping in the human realm for more than 100 years. How could she know such a small, old friend? Little 10, what are you thinking about? Don't tell me you don't remember me? Little 11 shouted. Sima Yue then noticed how she called her and said in surprise, "You are Little 11? Umph. Luckily you recognized me, or else I would be angry." Little 11 said, "Ha ha ha, it's really you." Sima Yue felt a familiar aura and squatted down to touch her head, asking, "Why are you alone? Where are your adoptive parents and your 9 brothers?" "They didn't come out, I snuck out." Little 11 said, "I told them that you were about to wake up, but they didn't believe me, so I ran over." "How is it? I was right, wasn't I? You are awake." Little 11 was very proud. She had a connection with Little 10. Little 11 and sister have telepathy, Sima Yue said with a smile. "But if you are like this, your adoptive parents will be worried." When she was born, everyone was worried about her, so one could imagine how precious she was now. "It's okay. They know that I am safe, so they won't be worried," Little 11 said with a smile. "I will get someone to contact your adoptive parents. I have to tell them that you are here." Sima Yue said, "All right, I will contact them if you say so." Little 11 had been restless since she was born, but maybe because of her spiritual power, she had always been close to her. She could not listen to anyone, but she would still listen to her. Sima Yue let Lei do it, then pulled Little 11 into the house. Sima Yue took out some spiritual fruits and snacks and placed them on a tray in front of her. She asked, "Little 11, why did you transform in a human form so early?" Little 11 chose a spirit fruit, held the spirit fruit that was bigger than both of his hands, and took a bite, saying, "I advanced, and then my bloodline was activated, so I conveniently transformed." Sima Yue didn't know whether to laugh or cry when she heard her answer. She pinched her cheeks. "Little 10, why did you sleep for so long? Father, mother, and my brothers all said that if you were here, I wouldn't have been struck so miserably. Let me tell you, it hurts a lot when it hits you." Little 11 liked being intimate with Sima Yue. When Yue pinched her, she did not dodge. "Call me Big Sister," Sima Yue corrected her. Sister was injured and her soul went to the ghost realm, so her body has been in a deep sleep. Now that he's back, he's awake. Then Little 10, "Are you in a lot of pain?" "I didn't get hurt that badly last time, but it still hurts." Little 11 insisted on calling her Little 10. "Yes, it hurts a lot, so you have to be good. The less you get hurt, the less pain you get it. Okay?" Sima Yue said. "Oh, I got it." Little 11 nodded. Sima Yue smiled and praised her. "You're such a good child." Little 10, "Who was that fairy-like person with you just now? He's so good-looking. He's even better looking than my brothers." Little 11 said, "That's Big Sister's friend." Sima Yue said, "Can I play with him? He likes to be quiet. Don't disturb him." Sima Yue said, "Okay." Little 11 answered obediently. His big eyes were rolling around in their sockets. Sima Yue felt that Little 11 was much more obedient than when she was young, and even praised her. But not long later, she was slapped in the face. "Young Miss, Princess 11 tore Sect Master Tong's roof off." Sima Yue was chatting with CU and 3rd MO when Lei ran over to report. "What?" Sima Yue was shocked and went to Little Tong's place. There were already many people gathered there. Among the crowd, there was indeed a house's roof that was torn off. When they saw Sima Yue coming over, they automatically opened up a path for her. Sima Yue went in and saw a helpless Little Tong and an angry Little 11. "What's going on?" Sima Yue went over and saw the torn roof. "Who's so powerful to tear off the roof?" Little 11 raised her head and saw Sima Yue's teasing gaze. She knew that she was the one who did it. "I just wanted to find him a play, but he always ignored me. I was angry and couldn't control the energy in my body. I'm sorry, Little 11. Little 11 said softly. Sima Yue saw that she knew her mistake and was no longer angry at her. "Didn't you promise me that you wouldn't disturb him? I just think he's good looking," Little 11 muttered. She was so young and already so infatuated. Sima Yue poked her head, then said to Little Tong, "I'll change your house." "Okay." Little Tong nodded. It was the same no matter where he stayed. Sima Yue got someone to arrange a new house for Little Tong, then brought Little 11 back. "Little 11, you can't disturb Little Tong anymore, okay?" Sima Yue reminded her. "Oh." Little 11 lowered her head dejectedly. "But he's really good looking. Everyone loves beauty. It's not a big deal. But if you bring trouble to others because you like them, that's not right." Sima Yue said, "And if you bring trouble to others because you like them, the person you like will hate you and you'll be sad. Isn't that not worth it? Don't you think so?" Little 11 thought of Little Tong's indifferent expression. That seemed to be the case. If you like to look at beauties, then look at them from afar. Don't disturb them. As the saying goes, you can look at them from afar but not touch them. Sima Yue continued, "If you like them, you have to respect them. I understand, Little 11." Sima Yue saw that she had really listened to her, so she didn't say anything more. If she said anything more, it would be ineffective. "Oh yeah, Little 11, where's Little 7? Why don't I see her?" Little 11 asked. In order not to make the beauty she liked hate her, she decided not to look for him today. She then thought of Little 7, who she used to play with. She had a difficult birth, and she used Little 7's essence to save her. After that, Little 7 also played with her, and the two of them had a revolutionary friendship. Little 7 and the rest went out to play. Sima Yue said, "They were locked up for too long, so I let them out to play after I woke up." Not only Little 7 and the rest, but also the elders from the White Egret clan and the Four-Winged Rock clan. Now that she was strong, she didn't need their protection anymore. So, other than Shi Yin, no one else was by her side. Little 11. A low roar made Little 11's body tremble, and she instinctively ran behind Sima Yue to hide. Chapter 2168. When Sima Yue heard the voice and saw Little 11's reaction, she laughed. "Didn't you say you weren't afraid? Why are you hiding?" "You don't know. The other brothers are easy to talk to. Only Big Brother is fierce. He always wants to hit me," Little 11 said. Luckily, there was someone in the Violet Water Dragon tribe who could control her, or else she would have turned the sky upside down. Woolali came out of space and saw Sima Yue first. He was stunned, as if he couldn't believe that she was really awake. "Big Brother, why are you looking at me like that? Don't you recognize me?" Sima Yue asked him. "You're really awake." Woolali was surprised and emotional. After so many years, she was finally awake. "Yeah, did you see me?" Sima Yue didn't think that the usually resolute Woolali would be in a daze and laughed. "Little 11 said you were about to wake up. We thought she just wanted to come out and play." Woolali said, "It's good that you're awake. Little 11 has been here for a few days. I sent someone to send you the news. You didn't know? Then how did you get here?" Sima Yue asked. "Little 11 disappeared, so I came out to find her. I followed her scent and found the route, so I guess she came here. I must have missed the news." Woolali said, "Little 11 and I have some connection, so she can feel that I'm about to wake up." Sima Yue reached behind her and patted Little 11, asking her to come out. Little 11 stuck her head out from behind her, saying, "I told you Little 11 is awake, but you didn't believe me. Then you shouldn't have run out alone. What if something happened to you?" Woolali went over and pulled Little 11's ear, pulling her out. "Aren't I fine?" Little 11 said, "Also, I'm not a child. Why are you so worried?" "Say that again." I said, "I was wrong. I won't do it again." Every time Woolali was like this, Little 11 knew that it was better to admit her mistake obediently. Sigh, this Big Brother is even fiercer than Father and Mother. Even Father and Mother can't do anything to him. Big Brother, Little 10, just woke up not long ago. Aren't you going to catch up with her? She diverted Woolali's attention so that he wouldn't punish her. Then, she tugged at Sima Yue's skirt. "Big Brother, that's enough. Little 11 knows his mistake." Sima Yue said, "You've had a hard time looking for her. You should stay and rest. It's my 200th birthday in 2 months. If you're free, you can stay with Little 11. That's right, that's right. Xiaoshi is almost 200 years old and has just woken up. Aren't you going to stay and celebrate with her? Maybe even father and mother will come. Little Tin hurriedly echoed. All right, stop being such a bootlicker. Go to the side and reflect, Wu Lali said. Oh. Little 11 obediently walked to the side and stood at attention, reflecting on his mistakes in front of Flower. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. She was so obedient. Wu Lali gestured for Sima Yue to sit at the pavilion. The two of them could see little 11's back from where they sat. You know, because of the difficult birth, everyone dotes on her. Plus, her bloodline has been awakened, so everyone lets her have her way. She's like a little devil in the clan. Wu Lali was speechless. If I don't suppress her, she'll really be out of control. She's still young. You don't have to suppress her too much, Sima Yue said. Young? Wu Lali glanced at her. Do you know how much older you are than her? You have the nerve to say it, but she doesn't have the nerve to admit it. A dash, Sima Yue rubbed her nose. She really wasn't that much older than little 11. It's not as exaggerated as you make it out to be. How is it not? Look at what you've been through. What did she go through? Wu Lali shook his head. If she was even 1/10 as mature as you, I wouldn't be so anxious. Did she do a lot of things that gave people headaches? Today she plucked people's dragon whiskers. Tomorrow she'll destroy their nest. If not, she'll beat up the young master of the neighboring clan. There was even one time when she destroyed their clan's treasure. There are countless of such things, but father and mother dote on her. Every time she commits a crime, she won't be punished. Now she's the little tyrant of the underworld sea. Sima Yue felt that little 11 was really a little naughty. Just listening to him was enough to give her a headache. It's a good thing that we've more or less ruled the Ninth Star Ocean. Even those who haven't submitted to us don't dare to mess with us. Otherwise, with the previous environment, something would have happened to her long ago. Wu Lali was helpless against this little sister of Fuyang. You don't have to worry too much. What kind of environment begets what kind of person they are? If the Ninth Star Ocean was as chaotic as before, she wouldn't be like this. Sima Yue comforted. Since she's already like this, bring her out more in the future to gain experience. She'll grow faster. You can't stop her from coming out just because it's dangerous outside. That's not good for her. I've thought about it before, but she doesn't listen to anyone. If she comes out like this, she'll probably turn the continent upside down. Wu Lali said, why don't we let her follow you? She was close to you when she was still in the egg. Now, she's close to you. With you watching over her, she won't be too naughty. You want her to follow me? We'll discuss it with father and mother later. They'll agree. You've always been their pride, Wu Lali said. Sima Yue hesitated for a moment, then nodded. I'm fine now. She can follow me. If there's any danger later, you'll have to send someone to pick her up. Is there something going on? Wu Lali asked. Is it very dangerous? Something that hasn't happened yet. Sima Yue said, just in case. If there's really danger, inform us. We'll bring someone to help you. Right now, more than half of the Ninth Star Ocean is under our control, Wu Lali said. All right. Sima Yue was touched. You, we're back. Look what we brought back. Little 7 shouted as she ran in from outside. When she saw the little doll in the courtyard, she asked, who are you? Little 7. Little 11 saw little 7 and ran over excitedly. However, little 11 punched him. Little 7, she's little 11. Sima Yue said, little 11? That egg? Little 7 thought of little 11 and chuckled. I'm sorry, little 11. I was too excited. My brain didn't work. She went to pull little 11 up. Little 11 pouted, looking like she was about to cry. Chapter 21:69. Sima Yue saw little 11's aggrieved look and walked over to pat her head to comfort her. She then looked at little 7 and said, did you just say that you brought people over? Yes, a group of people, little 7 said. Sima Yue felt movement at the entrance of the courtyard and raised her head to look. When she saw who it was, her eyes immediately turned red. Big sister, Shimin Feng shouted emotionally. Shimin Li was much more direct. She ran over and hugged Sima Yue, choking with sobs as she called out, sister, you're finally awake. Leah, Sima Yue felt that the clothes on her shoulders were wet and reached out to pat her back. Don't cry. I'm here. Sister, I'm sorry. It's all because of me that you... If only you didn't come to find me that year. Even though so many years had passed, Shimonli still blamed herself when she thought of what happened back then. Because she was captured that year, Sima Yue went to save her and found out that the black-robed men were related to the Sage Pavilion. So many things happened after that. Many times, she thought that if she didn't go out to train and wasn't captured, or if she didn't contact Yue after being captured, would all these things have happened? What nonsense are you saying? Sima Yue let go of her and wiped the tears off her face, saying, I'm your sister. How could I not care about you? Anyway, I didn't have anything to do and just went to the ghost realm to save my mother. I wasn't in a deep sleep. I just wanted to do something. You gave me a chance. If not, I would have to think of a way to go to the ghost realm. So, don't blame yourself anymore. Shimonli nodded, but she didn't accept it so easily. Yue, you're finally awake. If you didn't wake up, we would have left you far behind. Bei Gong Tang, Ouyang Fei, Wei Ziqi, and Fatty Chu walked over and said with a smile. Sima Yue looked at the four of them and felt emotional. It was as if she saw the time when they grew up together. Hearing Fatty Chu showing off to her, she raised her eyebrows and said, That might not be the case. Could it be that your strength has increased again? Fatty Chu could not tell her strength and looked at her in surprise. When my soul returned to my body, my strength increased a lot. Sima Yue smiled. Then what level are you at? I've only just reached the Paragon level. PFFF. You've only just reached the revered rank, and that's it? Fatty Chu spat. He was still thinking that they had encountered many opportunities over the years and had finally surpassed her. Who would have thought that the moment she woke up, her strength would soar to the supreme rank? This was too much a blow to them. It was the first time that the people in the room had heard of her strength, and they were all shocked. You don't have to look at me like that. I didn't cultivate this strength. It was my ancestor who gave me all of his underworld energy. When my soul returned to my body, this power was fed back to my body. That's why I have my current strength. Sima Yue said. Actually, she did not absorb all of her strength. There was still a portion of underworld energy that was sealed. Otherwise, her current level would be even more frightening. After all, that was the ancestor of the 9th Underworld clan. His lifetime's worth of strength was not as simple as just becoming a monarch. But you guys are doing very well now. It's only been 100 years, and your strength has already reached the monarch rank. Sima Yue felt that their strength had increased a lot over the years. We did encounter some opportunities over the years. Wei Ziqi said. Yue, how is your body? Bei Gong Tang went up to hold her hand. In the future, the divine devil body gave her an extremely strong talent for cultivation, but it also put her body in danger of exploding at any time. When she was in the Sage Pavilion, it was because the dark and light energy in her body went out of control that caused her to explode and die. Now that she had woken up, they were all worried that something like that would happen again. Don't worry, my physique has already been resolved. Sima Yue said, that kind of thing won't happen again. Really? When my body exploded the last time, the dark physique in my body disappeared along with my soul. Now, I can still use the dark energy, but it's connected to my soul and has nothing to do with my body. One exists in the body and the other in the soul, so it won't fight anymore. Sima Yue explained. Hearing her say it so confidently, they finally relaxed. If that's really the case, then it's good. You won't have to worry about this anymore. Ouyang Fei said. That's right. This sword has been hanging over my head for so many years. Now it's finally resolved. Sima Yue said, How did you guys get here so quickly? You forgot that Paramount Valley has a branch in the 64th state. Now we're all managing things here. Shimin Feng said. When we heard her news, we immediately rushed over. I see. Grandfather and the others didn't tell me. Sima Yue said, Why are you here alone? Where's Xiangyi? Xiangyi just gave birth a few days ago. When we left, it wasn't suitable for her to go out, so she waited for your 200th birthday before she brought the child over. Shimin Feng said, Really? I'm an aunt again. Sima Yue was very happy. When she came back, she first heard that her senior brothers and sisters had a child, and now she heard that Shimin Feng and Kong Sang-yi had a child. Just thinking about it made her happy. We counted the days. When the little guy was born, it was the day you woke up. Sister-in-law heard about it and kept asking you to name the child. Shimonli felt a little better and joined in their conversation. Xiang-yi gave birth. I should go and take a look. Unfortunately, they treat me like a cripple now. I'm not allowed to go anywhere. Sima Yue said, you have to go back and pick her up later. You can't let anything happen to her. Okay, Shimin Feng replied. He also planned to go back and pick up Kong Sang-yi after seeing Sima Yue. He was worried that with her personality, she would bring the child over in a few days. Forget it. You should rest and go back. With Xiang Yi's personality, she definitely won't be able to sit still. Sima Yue said, anyway, there are more people coming over recently. I don't have time to take care of you. You should go back early and bring little nephew over. Shimin Feng, wasn't this favoritism a little too strong? All right, don't look like you're hurt. Do you think I don't know you? You probably have the same intention too. Sima Yue saw through his thoughts. Then I'll go back first. Shimin Feng said, be careful. Sima Yue thought of the men in black and was still worried. She said, Little Seven, you go with Hei Yin. Okay, Little Seven agreed. Chapter 2170. Sima Yue looked at Wu Lali. Wu Lali didn't want to let Little 11 go, but he remembered that he wanted her to experience more things, so he nodded. Sima Yue saw that Wu Lali had agreed, so she said to Little 11, you can go, but you have to listen to him. She pointed at Shimin Feng and continued, if you don't listen to him, I'll ask Little 7 to tie you up and not let Little 7 play with you in the future. Do you understand? Little 11 pouted, but she still agreed. Compared to being tied up, it was more attractive to go out and play. Sima Yue reminded Little 7 again and asked her to call Little Peng and the others. Although Little 7 also liked to play, she was more reliable when it came to serious matters. She didn't have to worry too much about bringing Little 11 along. At least if Little 11 was disobedient, Little 7 would not hesitate to throw her away and bring her back. Shimin Feng didn't want Yue's bees to send him back at first, but after hearing them say that they hadn't played properly for so many years, and this time, they came out to play, so he didn't feel uncomfortable. He asked Little 7 and the others about what Sima Yue did in the human realm, so the rest of the journey became Little 7 and the others' performance time. They told him all about what Sima Yue did in the ghost realm, and everyone was stunned. Anti-theft mode. Read the full chapter. Chapter 2171. Sima Yue opened the box. Inside was a piece of cloth that had fallen from a shirt. There were patterns embroidered on the cloth. We're guessing that this came from those people. But after checking the entire inner region, no one used this pattern. Sima Yue stared at the pattern and felt that it was familiar. She thought about it carefully and said, I think I know where he is. Yue, have you seen this before? Fatty Chu asked. I've seen something similar, but more than this. This should be part of the pattern I've seen before. Sima Yue said as she took out a pen and paper and drew the pattern she had seen before. Then, she compared it with the cloth. It was indeed part of the pattern. It really is. Yue, where did you see this pattern? Bei Gong Tang asked. Ghost Realm. But that person isn't from a ghost realm. He's from a place called the God Realm. Sima Yue said. God Realm? Where is that? The Lost Lands? Nope. Sima Yue explained the Chaos World to them. She also explained what she saw in the Chaos World, as well as the migration of the ancient races. So the God Realm is where the gods live? Fatty Chu opened his mouth wide. He didn't think that there was such a place. Is that place connected to the Lost Lands? There isn't any connection now. But didn't the people in the Lost Lands say that they are the descendants of the gods? Maybe there is a connection. Sima Yue said uncertainly. She suddenly remembered the last time she went to the Lost Lands. Tua Xiaogong asked her to memorize the map. At that time, she didn't really use it. But when he left, he told her that she would use it in the future. Could it be that she was going to use it in that place? Yue, what are you thinking about? I'm thinking about the map that Tua Xiaogong asked me to memorize. Could it be related to that place? Sima Yue had told them about this before, so they knew about it. It's possible. Yue, do you want to go up there? To find Yulin? No, whether or not Yulin is involved, I'm going up. Sima Yue said, Crimson Flame is up there, and he still has unfinished business. Furthermore, the Jiuyo clan is up there. I'm just a young master now, but I still have to go and take a look. Moreover, didn't they proclaim themselves as gods? I want to see if the heavenly Tao is related to them. Then when are you going up? Bei Gong Tang asked. There's no rush. Sima Yu took out Sima Yulin's life jade and looked at it. He's been missing for so long, but his life jade is fine. In fact, it's getting brighter. So I think he must have been caught by someone. He should be doing well now. My disciple was taken away, and I still have to find him. Furthermore, I have to make a trip to the Devil Realm. Since Xiaotong had said that the black-clothed man's matter was related to her, she probably couldn't go to the divine domain before the matter was resolved. Why are you still going to the demon realm? Ling Yu's situation over there isn't very good. I'm worried. Also, Little Dream has enemies over there. I promised her before that I would bring her back to take revenge. Sima Yu said. Speaking of which, shouldn't you guys invite us to the wedding banquet? Ouyang Fei asked. Yeah, I remember you said before that you guys would get married after saving your mother. Now that you guys have reunited as a family, shouldn't you get married? You guys are asking me about this, but I can't give you an answer. Sima Yu shrugged her shoulders. After experiencing the robbery in the ghost realm, I can't wait to get married as soon as possible. But looking at the situation now, I don't know when I'll be gone. Fatty Chu and the others laughed and didn't mention this topic again. However, this didn't mean that they wouldn't think about it anymore. Yu, how's the symbol in that place? Are you familiar with that person? Wei Ziqi asked. Very familiar. We lived together for over 20 years. Sima Yu said. However, he didn't wear clothes with this symbol. I saw this symbol by chance. Then what is he over there? Chapter 2172. They hated the black-clothed men to the bone. If it wasn't for them, the continent wouldn't have been so chaotic. If it wasn't for them, she wouldn't have been in hibernation for so long. Even though they knew that she went to the ghost realm to do something while she was in hibernation, they still hated them. I don't know if they came out from other places, but they did take Musi away. Sima Yue said, also, Xiaotong divined that the continent is going to be chaotic. Why is it chaotic as soon as you wake up? Could it be that the whole thing is related to you? Feng Zhixing guessed. Sima Yue knew that Feng Zhixing had always been sensitive, but she didn't expect him to be this sensitive. She only said a few words, and he could guess it. Master, why would you guess that? She didn't deny it. It's very simple. After you hibernation, the black-clothed men disappeared. When you woke up, they started to appear again. They even took Musi away, and he's your disciple. It's not hard to guess. Feng Zhixing said, Master, you're so amazing. Sima Yue praised. Xiaotong did say that these things are related to me. To be exact, the cause has nothing to do with me, but it's related to me now. Maybe it's because I was involved in this matter before. Xiaotong's divination ability isn't inferior to his master's back then. Old man Devil sighed. What did he divine for you? Sima Yue shook her head. He said that my divination was shrouded in clouds and mist, so he couldn't see it clearly. He also said that he couldn't divine a good divination for this matter, but he divined that it had an ancient aura. Ancient aura? What do you mean? Sima Yue repeated Xiaotong's words, and the three masters felt that it was inconceivable. We'll investigate the black-clothed men with those forces. Su Jin said, you shouldn't go out during this time. That's right, just stay in the family, understand? We'll let you know if there's any news. Even Old Man Devil said so. Feng Zhixing didn't say anything, but his meaning was obvious. Sima Yue was speechless. Ever since he woke up, everyone's thoughts were surprisingly consistent. That is, if you have nothing to do, then go somewhere else and stay at home. Everyone was very careful, afraid that she would accidentally lose herself again. She couldn't be bothered to explain her attitude, because she knew that if she said one sentence, they would say 10 sentences. In short, the last sentence would be no. Have a good rest. We'll go make some arrangements first. After saying that, The three masters left together, leaving her alone in the pavilion. She felt very stifled. The Sima family postponed the birthday party for a month because it was too rushed for her to wake up until her birthday. After meeting different people every day, the banquet finally arrived in 2 days. Sima Yu counted with her fingers. During this period of time, she had met no less than 1,000 people. There were some that she had never met before, but because of various reasons, they came to congratulate her, so she had no choice but to meet them. If she had known that it would be so tiring, she wouldn't have agreed to it. Yu, we're back. Little 7 ran in from outside, followed by Little 11. Little 11 had now become Little 7's follower. Wherever Little 7 went, she would follow. Her little eyes were filled with admiration. On the way out with Little 7, she listened to her talk a lot and played a lot with her. At that time, she realized that the things she had done in the past were really too low. Oh, the word low was something she learned from Little 7. You're back? Did you meet with any problems on the way? Sima Yu asked. No, it's safe and sound. Little 7 said. Yeah, she wouldn't say anything even if something happened. Sima Yu knew her character and didn't ask. She let her bring Little 11 out to play and then went outside to welcome Kong Sang-yi and Little Darling. Kong Sang-yi first went to see Sima Ji Yuan and the others, then went to Sima Yoyue's place. They met on the way. When she saw Sima Yue, she was also very excited. You're already a mother, but you still cry so easily. This won't do. Sima Yue said with a smile and went up to give her a hug. Seriously, I told him to come earlier, but he insisted on dragging me to stay in the valley for a few more days. If not, I would have arrived long ago. Kong Sang-yi complained. You just given birth. Although we cultivators aren't that particular about giving birth, it's still good to take care of it. Sima Yue saw the child in Shimin Feng's arms and stretched out her hand. Shimin Feng consciously passed the child to her and looked at her hand carefully, afraid that she would drop the child. TSK, look at how careful you are. Don't worry, I carried you and Lear when you grew up. I won't drop your son. Sima Yue teased. Yue, the child doesn't have a name yet. We're waiting for his aunt to give him one. Kong Sang-yi said. He's really waiting for me. Of course, he said that his aunt will give him a name. Naturally, he'll wait for you. Kong Sang-yi said. Let's call him Shimin Junyi, the ruler of the world, a gentleman. Little Junjun, what do you think? Sima Yue hugged the little guy, and the little guy actually opened his mouth and smiled at her. This little guy really likes this name. He hasn't smiled since he was born. I didn't expect that he would smile at you. Kong Sang-yi said, since that's the case, how about we call him Shimin Junyi? Okay. Shimin Feng also felt that this name was not bad. Sima Yue checked the little guy's body again and said, his foundation is not bad. His talent will definitely not be low in the future. Take this and give it to him when it's time. This is... Kong Sang-yi opened the jade bottle that Sima Yue gave him and smelled a strong medicinal fragrance. This is the marrow cleansing pill. Sima Yue said, if you start to take care of it when you're pregnant, the child will be better after birth. Unfortunately, I wasn't awake at that time. Fortunately, you ate a lot of good things when you were pregnant, so little Junjun's future achievements will not be bad. Actually, this is all thanks to Shi Qianji. If he didn't tell us, we wouldn't know what's good for the fetus. Kong Sang-yi said, is Shi Qianji still in the sect? The few of them are still here, but they went out a while ago and got injured, so they're now recuperating in the valley. Shi Shuang stayed behind to take care of him. Kong Sang-yi said as he took out a box, this is their birthday present for you. Sima Yue returned the child to Shimin Feng and opened the box to take a look. Then, she kept it and said, it seems that many people have come to the inner region. Yes, many have come. Because the inner region is now in a period of growth, we need more people. Don't just stand here, let's go in and rest. Okay. In a courtyard not far from the Sima family, a lonely figure stood in the courtyard, listening to the noise from the Sima family, emitting a strong sense of sadness. Chapter 2173. The day of the banquet finally arrived. Sima Yue was so busy that her feet could not even touch the ground. Many people came for the first time and wanted to talk to her. With Sima Yue around, they felt at ease. As for those who really couldn't make it, they had people bring gifts to celebrate her birthday and her awakening. For example, the ancient spirit Be Supreme, fifth spirit, sent a pile of ancient herbs. The various guilds sent a pile of medicinal pills and herbs along with their letters. The Guild Alliance was going to hold a guild assembly these few days, which was a competition between the young people of the various guilds. It was similar to the competition in Cloud City, except that every guild would have one, so it lasted longer. So there was no way to participate in the competition. In order to boost morale, they invited her to watch. Sima Yue felt that this news came at a good time. She immediately agreed and asked the Guild Alliance to send the letter back. Then, she went to look for Sima Jiyuan and the rest. Sima Jiyuan and the rest were greeting the guests. When she went over, she was pulled to greet everyone. Thinking that she could finally go out, her mood improved. She felt tired greeting those she did not know. The banquet was grand. The chefs were all invited from Memory Restaurant. In terms of food, the spirit fruits were prepared by Sima Yue. The dishes were all top-notch. The wine was naturally prepared by Sima Yue. It was all brewed by Little Spirit when she was in a deep sleep. There were fruit wines and white wines. Everything was exquisite and low-key luxurious. Sima Jiyuan and the rest brought Sima Yue to toast one by one to express their gratitude. At the same time, they also apologized to those who were not able to greet them. After walking around, the sky was almost dark. The guests were very happy to see Sima Yue. She pulled out the Sage Pavilion and the black-robed men. She tore apart their faces and calmed the human realm, returning them a peaceful life. Sima Yue heard their words of gratitude, but her heart became heavier and heavier. If they knew that the black-robed men were coming out again, and it was related to her, how would they feel? She could not understand. 100 years was not a short period of time. Since they had disappeared for so long, why would the black-robed men come out again because of her? What was the connection? Why would Musi be a key factor in this matter? She couldn't wait for news at home anymore. She had to go out. After the banquet, the Sima family prepared gifts for the guests. They weren't very expensive, but they were very special. The guests left with satisfaction. Sima Yue returned to her courtyard. Everyone was busy working in front of her. There was no one in the courtyard at first, but now there was someone standing there. Sima Yue was startled at first. Then she smiled and said, "Crane, when did you come? Why didn't you go to the banquet in front?" Xian Xiu, he stood in the moonlight. His pure white clothes made him seem to be one with the moonlight. When he saw that Sima Yue was really standing in front of him, it was no longer a dream, nor was it the scene of being torn apart countless times. The loneliness in his heart instantly dissipated. "I want to see you, not those guests." "Xian Xiu," he said. Sima Yue walked over and stretched out her hand in front of him. She blinked and said, "Since you're here to celebrate my birthday, where's my gift?" Xian Xiu, he saw the smile on her face, and his lips curled up. He took out a box and passed it to her. "How could I forget to give you a gift on your birthday?" "I knew it." Sima Yue took the jade box and opened it. When she saw what was inside, her eyes were filled with shock. Although she didn't know what it was, after coming in contact with a few divine medicines, how could she not recognize the aura of the divine medicine? He actually gave her a divine medicine. She passed the gift back and said, "Your gift is too expensive. I can't." "Why can't you?" Xian Xiu, he didn't take it. "It's mine. If I give it to you, it's yours. This is also to celebrate your awakening after 100 years of sleep. If you don't accept it, I'll be sad." Sima Yue saw the sadness in his eyes. She knew that he was blaming himself for not protecting her back then. If this could make him happy, then let him be. "All right, I'll keep it first. If you need it in the future, come and find me." She kept the box. "You used to say that you have to make a wish on your birthday. Have you made a wish?" Xian Xiu, he asked. "You have to have a cake. You have to make a wish on a birthday cake to make it come true." Sima Yue said, "You didn't make one for yourself?" Xian Xiu, he asked. "I've been so busy recently. I don't have time to make one." Sima Yue said, "Also, this cake was given to me by someone else. I don't want to make it myself. It's good that I made it, but it's ugly. I didn't plan to take out at first, but now, why don't you make do with it? Xianxiu, he took out a cake. It was really the kind that she told him before. Sima Yue was very surprised. Previously, she told him about the birthday cake at Xianxiu clan, but she didn't make it. But he actually made it. You made this? I made it for the whole day. Finally, there's something that's presentable. It's very nice. Thank you. She took the cake and went to the pavilion. She placed it on the table and lit all the candles. Make a wish. Xianxiu, he smiled and said, Okay. Sima Yue closed her eyes and made a wish. Then, she opened them and blew out all the candles. Xianxiu, he watched her make a wish. Watch her blow out the candles. Watch her smile. His gaze became more and more sorrowful. It was as if this was the last time he could be with her like this. However, this emotion didn't last long. When Sima Yue opened her eyes, it disappeared. Seeing her blow out the candles, he smiled and asked, What did you wish for? I hope that those who came to my birthday party can return safely. Sima Yue said, Xiao Tong told me that the men in black are coming out again. I hope that they won't meet those men in black and return safely. Otherwise, I'll feel guilty. Xianxiu, he smile froze and said, Don't worry. They'll be fine. I hope that my birthday wish can come true. Sima Yue smiled at him. All right, let's eat the cake. She took out a knife and cut 2 pieces. She gave one to him and took one for herself. It's so delicious. I'm so happy to be able to eat a cake personally made by he. I'm so happy to be able to make a cake for you. Xianxiu, he thought about it in his heart, but didn't say it out loud. After she finished eating the cake, there were sounds of people talking outside. It seemed like someone was coming over. I'm leaving. Xianxiu, he stood up and said. Sima Yue stood up and looked at him and said, Okay, I know you don't like it, so I won't keep you. Thank you for spending my birthday with me. Xianxiu, he looked at her and suddenly stepped forward to hug her. Chapter 2174. Sima Yue didn't expect Xianxiu to be like this and was stunned. She wanted to push him away, but heard his pained voice. Yue, if one day I'm no longer here, don't forget me. Okay. Sima Yue didn't know why he was in such pain and patted his shoulder. What nonsense are you saying? I'll always remember you. I'll remember you when you're here. I'll still remember you when you're no longer here. What if I'm no longer me? Sima Yue was stunned. What did he mean by he wasn't him? I believe that you'll always be you. You're he. You're my friend. This won't change. She said, If you feel that you're not you anymore, then think about which one you want to be. What if I can't control myself? What if I go to a place that I can't return to? Then I'll go and bring you back. Sima Yue said, As long as I'm here, I won't let you have no control over yourself. At least, I'll use all my strength to help you. Thank you, Yue. Knowing you is the happiest and luckiest thing in my life. However, it's too late for some things. Yue, if I die, I hope it's in your hands. A tear fell from Xianxiu's eye and disappeared in her hair. What did you say? Sima Yue didn't understand what he meant. However, he let go of her and disappeared from his spot. She reached out to grab him, but didn't feel anything. This power. She frowned slightly. Xianxiu's improvement was too fast in the past 100 years. She looked at the remaining cake on the table, and the happiness she felt just now disappeared. He was too strange today and made her a little anxious. Sister, what are you doing there? Shimonli came in from the courtyard and saw Sima Yue standing alone in the pavilion and asked. Sima Yue waved her hand and kept the remaining cake. This time, she didn't put the cake in the spirit pagoda, but put in the space ring. There was no air in the spatial ring, so the cake would not spoil no matter how long it took. She didn't know why she did that, but she subconsciously wanted to keep it. She walked towards Shimonli and asked, Why are you here? Everyone is looking for you to play. Let's go. All right, let's go. She walked towards Shimonli and turned back to look at the pavilion. The pavilion under the moonlight actually made her feel sad. When Xianxiu returned to the courtyard, someone immediately knelt down and asked, Master, everyone is waiting for the final order. Xianxiu closed his eyes and said, The operation is cancelled. Master? The person kneeling on the ground looked up at Xianxiu, he in surprise. He did not believe that he would say that. How long had they prepared for this day? He actually said that he would cancel it? You don't understand what I'm saying? Xianxiu, he glanced at him. That person immediately lowered his head and acknowledged before leaving. Xianxiu, his entire body was nestled in the chair, as if he had used up all of his strength. You actually canceled all of my operations. A hoarse voice sounded. It was just one sentence, but it made people feel suffocated. Xianxiu, he seemed to be controlled by some power. His entire body started to convulse, and his entire body was convulsing. Do you think that you can still turn back? Or do you think that if I let you have your own consciousness one day, you can really do whatever you want? That voice did not say anything, but Xianxiu, his body convulsed even more violently. I didn't. He clenched his teeth and did not let himself let out a painful groan. Didn't what? You have already fallen into darkness. You will never be able to return to the past. That woman, you will never be able to get her. Heh. The last heh came out from Xianxiu's mouth. His body stopped convulsing, but the aura on his body was different. This is you. It's me, a strong us. Xianxiu, he twisted his body, and the joints on his body made cracking sounds. Sooner or later, you will be disappointed. Why do you have to struggle for a while? It's too late. The order has been sent out. If you go and order them now, it's too late. Do you think that after losing this chance, they will be safe and sound? This world will be ours sooner or later. Ha. I won't let you have your way. Me? No, we will succeed. We will stand at the top of the world once again. Ha. Master you. PFFF. A person who just came in was torn into two halves. Ha. Xianxiu, he lowered his head and looked at his hands that were covered in blood. He closed his eyes in pain, but he could not stop the laughter from entering his brain. Yue, I really can't go back anymore. On the morning of the second day, Sima Yue went to find Sima Ji Yuan and told him that she wanted to go out. No, Sima Ji Yuan still rejected her. Great-grandfather, I can't stay in the clan forever. Sima Yue said, I can't be afraid of everything because of what happened before. But since Little Helper said that this matter is related to me, I am destined to not be able to escape. Now that they haven't made any moves, all the more reason for me to do something. Sima Yue said, Then tell me, what can you do? Sima Hishun and Sima Qing said as they came in, I don't know what I can do, but I know that I can't do nothing. Sima Yue said, If I go out, I might be able to find something. You've already thought about it? Sima Qing asked. Yes. Sima Yue nodded. The Guild Alliance is holding a large meeting. They asked me to go and watch, and I have already agreed. The Black-Robed Men have always had their eyes on the Guild Alliance. The Guild Alliance was also involved in the Sage Pavilion incident. If the Black-Robed Men want to do it again, we have to inform the Guild Alliance. You can let others do this. Sima Ji Yuan said. Yes, but if others go, they might not believe it. Also, I want to go to a few other places. Where do you want to go? To the few graveyards that gave birth to chi spirits to take a look. Sima Yue said, If these two things are really related, there will be some clues for people to find. You've already planned it out. Sima Qing said, Yes. Then go. Sima Qing said, Since the old ancestor had agreed, it was useless for the others to object. Actually, they understood, and Sima Yue understood as well. Once she had made a decision, she would not change it easily. She wanted to go out and tell them that she respected them. If they didn't agree, she would still leave. How many people are you bringing? No, I can go by myself. Sima Yue said, Mother must have told you about Huan, Black Shadow, and Changjio. With them around, it doesn't matter if I bring others or not. Chapter 2175. Yukaluo and the rest naturally told the clan about Huan and Black Shadow. Because when Ming brought Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu back, they already knew about King Ming's existence. Later, when Sima Luxian and Yukaluo returned, they asked Sima Yue about the Ghost Realm. Naturally, they also knew about the experts protecting her. When do you plan to leave? Sima Hishun asked. Tomorrow. She was going to leave, so she naturally had to make some preparations. At least those pills had to be changed. Those pills used in the ghost realm had to be changed to those used in the human realm. Otherwise, if she got injured one day, she wouldn't even have a few pills left. Moreover, she still had to inform the people in the clan. After coming out, she went to look for Sima Lu Xian and Yuka Luo. When they heard that she was leaving, the two didn't object, but they were very reluctant. How long have you been awake? Mother hasn't even spent time with you, and you're going out again. Yuka Luo pulled Sima Yue. Mother, aren't you going to stay in the human realm for a long time? This way, I can go home and see you. Sima Yue held her arm and leaned her head on Yuka Luo's shoulder. You have to be careful when you go out, okay? Yuka Luo reminded. No matter what means you use, as long as you can survive. You don't have to care about what others think. Yes, I know. Sima Yue liked Yuka Luo's way of thinking. It happened to coincide with her point of view. By the way, Mother, when are you and Father going to give me a younger brother or sister? The two only had one daughter, and she was often not by their side. With another child, they would also be comforted. Child, what are you talking about? Yuka Luo poked her forehead with her slender finger. It seemed that she was still a little shy. I'm serious. Sima Yue said, no one dares to stop you and Father now. Since you want to live together, having children is a natural thing. You and Father still have so much time left. It's impossible not to have children. Anyway, it's better to give birth early and late to accompany you. You don't want to accompany us, so you're placing your hopes on your younger siblings, right? Yuka Luo exposed her thoughts. I don't want to be like this either, but there's always a bunch of things pushing me forward. Sima Yue sighed. How could Yuka Luo not hear the helplessness in her words? She patted her hand and said, most of the time, we can't control what we do. However, it's good to be able to move forward. Father and Mother also hope that you can go higher and further. I know. Actually, your father had such thoughts before, but I didn't agree to it. Yuka Luo said. Why? Mother, don't you want children? Sima Yue asked. Seeing the apology and love in Yuka Luo's eyes, she immediately understood. Because of me? You can say that. Yuka Luo sighed. Ever since you were born, I have never been by your side. In the end, you had to put in so much effort to save me. After that, you fell into a deep sleep, and Mother wasn't able to take good care of you. Now that you've just woken up, I want to spend more time with you. Mother, there is no conflict. You don't have to worry that I'll feel wronged. I'm already an adult. Sima Yue smiled. I also want a younger brother or sister to accompany you. We'll talk about this later. Yuka Luo was embarrassed. All right, the Netherworld King told Ling Yu before that if you do anything in the future, don't be afraid and do it boldly. The Netherworld King will be your shield. This fellow must have thought that the Netherworld King was bored, so he wanted to come to the human world to play. Sima Yue smiled. However, with his words, I won't be so worried when I go out. All right, Mother, I'll go back first. I still have to prepare. Okay. Yuka Luo sent Sima Yue out. Thinking about what Sima Yue said just now, she blushed a little. When it was time to go out, Sima Yue was in a good mood. She hummed a tune as she went back. The moment she entered the courtyard, she was stunned. Blinking her eyes to make sure that she wasn't hallucinating, she smiled and said, Why are you here? I felt that the underworld was boring, so I came to the human world to play. That's what you're reading in the book Crazy Wife. 5th Miss Divine Doctor Chapter 2175. The Netherworld King the Anti-Theft mode has been activated. Only half of the chapter and the previous chapter's content can't be connected. Please search for the hidden parts on Baidu. Heartless plus water. After entering, search for Madam King. 5th Miss Divine Doctor View. Chapter 2176. Ming really felt that it was beneath his status to sit on that small throne. However, when he saw Sima Yue's sparkling eyes, he couldn't reject her. He was always defeated by her eyes. When he dug them out for her, he would see what else she could attract him. He came down from his throne unwillingly and sat on Sima Yue's small throne. Sima Yue felt that she was a little naughty. She liked to break Ming's arrogant and indifferent attitude. She liked to see him angry, awkward, and extremely unwilling. She felt good when he was like this. The villain got his way. Ming knew what she was thinking and said with disdain, "Thank you, noble Lord Ming, for cooperating with my request." Sima Yue smiled and said, "Get ready, I'm going to try." She placed her hand on the place where she injected spiritual power and injected it slightly. A faint halo lit up around the small throne, and then it disappeared with her and Ming. At first, she was not familiar with the throne, and it was very bumpy. Later on, she slowly got used to it and had the energy to observe her surroundings. It blocked her vision, and she couldn't see outside clearly. However, she could roughly know that she was shuttling through space and her speed wasn't fast. Also, the throne could change its direction according to her thoughts. The small throne brought them out of the space. When she saw the place, Sima Yue took a deep breath. Wasn't this the city where he, Zhenjiang, and the rest were? It would take a few days to get to the Sima family from here through the teleportation array. But how long did they take? It felt like it was just a blink of an eye. Actually, they still took 1 or 2 hours. However, she didn't care about this little bit of time. "You're indeed too weak. You actually took so long." Ming leaned on the small throne and poured cold water on her. "I know I'm weak, but I'm still not familiar with it. It won't take so long to go back." Sima Yue was used to being despised. She wasn't discouraged at all. Instead, she was excited and brought him back. Just as she said, she was much more familiar with the small throne when she returned, and it was easier for her to control it. Moreover, it took her much less time, only a little more than half of the time. With your current state, won't you be drained of your spiritual energy if you go far away? He already has little spiritual energy, and if he's squeezed dry again, will he become a mummy? Sima Yue, this guy who had lived for tens of thousands of years, wanted to find pleasure in her body. She would endure it. "Teach me. If you don't teach me, how can I?" she said with a smile. "I'm your master. Do you want me to teach you how to use it?" Ming leaned back in his chair and narrowed his eyes, ignoring her. "Of course you have to teach him. If you want to buy a washing machine or air conditioner, you'll need a manual, right? If you don't tell me anything, how am I supposed to know how to make it faster and save more spiritual energy?" She continued to endure. "That's buying. Did you buy it for me?" Ming stretched out his hand in front of her. Sima Yue looked at the perfect palm and slapped it down. "Teach me if you want. In any case, I didn't learn it well, because this thing of yours is hard to control. If I embarrass myself, I'll embarrass you." "That's true. You'll embarrass me." "Forget it. I'd better be kind." "That's right. Please be kind and teach me how to use it as soon as possible." Sima Yue still knew how to flatter. "Watch how I do it," Ming said as he controlled the small throne and disappeared. "Isn't this my small throne? How can you control it? Don't you know who made it? This little thing doesn't need to recognize an owner." "Then this still doesn't belong to me completely." Their voices disappeared from the courtyard, and Huan and Black Shadow came out of the air. Black Shadow sighed and said, "Every time our king is with Miss, he seems more childish." "Yes, he doesn't feel it himself." Huan agreed. "That's why she's our Mississippi, but this kind of king gives people a more realistic feeling. When he was in the underworld, he was too lonely." Black Shadow's heart ached for Ming. In the past, when he played with Ming, he also had the idea of making him happy, but the effect was obviously not as good as Sima Yue. "She knows how to make him happy. We just have to protect her." "That's right." Sima Yue and Ming went out for a trip. After seeing him control the small throne, she understood why he despised her so much. Because she had a connection with the small throne, she knew that when Ming controlled the small throne, the spiritual power he used was similar to her own. But with the same power, the speed of the small throne increased by more than several times. It really felt like in the blink of an eye, they came out from the same position. "Are you ashamed?" Ming looked at her sideways. Sima Yue saw the pride and smugness in his eyes. "What's there to be ashamed of? Can I be compared to you? Besides, I'll be as powerful as you if I practice more," she said, unconvinced. "Then I'll see to what extent you can reach if you practice more. Then you'll see." Hence, for the next 2 days, Sima Yue did not set off. Instead, she sat on the small throne and walked around. Over and over again, she became more and more familiar with the small throne. She became more and more skilled at operating it. Towards the end, she could already control the small throne as she pleased. No matter what the situation was, she could control the small throne to leave. If you can't win in the future, at least you can escape, Ming said. Sima Yue was speechless. So this guy kept attacking her so that she could familiarize herself with the small throne so that she could escape in all kinds of situations. What if I get struck by someone? She asked. With your current strength, without the strength of an emperor, don't even think about moving the protective layer. Don't you know who made this? You're so powerful. Sima Yue sat on the small throne and looked at Ming, who was sitting on the big throne. Both of them were floating in midair. This show-off and cool guy was defeated by the big throne. Can it be bigger in the future? Sima Yue asked. Why? It's so small. I can't even lie down next time. Why do you want to lie down on it? Do you want to do bad things on it? Sima Yue's mouth twitched. Just pretend I didn't ask. Actually, she wanted to say that she didn't have to lie down on it to do bad things. What was this guy thinking? No, why was she thinking about this? Recently, she had been tortured by him to the point of insanity. That was why she was thinking about this. TSK. Ming looked at her as if she wanted to do bad things on it. However, he was an adult. His child had to grow up eventually. Anyway, this thing was not his anymore. She could do whatever she wanted. Take these things and study them properly. You are a lady of the underworld. If you mess up too much, you can kill yourself to atone for your sins. Ming sat on his show-off big throne and disappeared. Chapter 2177. Sima Yue sighed. It was fine to be concerned, but why do you have to be so talkative? If something really happened to her, when did he not run the fastest? She touched the little throne. Thinking of what Hades had done for her, her heart felt warm. She could feel that Hades was good to her. It was not because of the love between men and women, but as if she was family. Maybe it was because he was too lonely. Everyone in the underworld regarded him as a high and mighty king. He had no wife, no children, did not know where he came from, and did not have any relatives. He was all alone in the world, with only his subjects and people, and she would treat him as a friend, as a family. She would cook for him, joke with him, and tell him her troubles. That was why he cherished her like a family member. But she couldn't accompany him all the time. He would still be lonely, and her heart would ache. She still owed him a year's worth of food. He knew that she had things to do, but he did not ask her to do it now. Considerate and talkative guy, she muttered, then got down from the little throne, kept the little throne, and went to find Fatty Chu and the others. After the banquet, the other guests left. Even Shimin Feng brought Paramount Valley's people back. Only Bei Gong Tang and the other four stayed. Yu, are you ready? Fatty Chu asked. I'm almost ready. Once you're done, we can go. Sima Yue said. We don't have any problems. We can go anytime. Bei Gong Tang said. Then let's go tell great-grandfather and father and mother before we go. Okay. At this time, Chanjiu came out from the space and said, Young master, there's news. Bei Gong Tang and the others looked at him nervously. They knew that he was talking about Sima Yulin. How is it? Sima Yue was much calmer. He is indeed at Fallen Moon Cliff and became an elder's disciple. It is said that he was fancied by that elder in the immortal land and was forcefully brought up. Now he has some status at Fallen Moon Cliff. Chanjiu said. That's good. Knowing that he was doing well, they were relieved. But when our people went to investigate, they were discovered by Fu Shi. Chanjiu said. What did he say? He said that he would take care of Sima Yulin, and even said that he was there. So when you go up, you will definitely look for them. He said he was waiting for you to go up earlier. Chanjiu said. This little fellow. Sima Yue smiled, then said to them, Fu Shi's position at the top is not bad. With him protecting Yulin, we don't have to worry about him. We must continue to work hard and strive to go up there and take a look. That's right. Yue, you'll be going up in the future. Now, Yulin is up there too. If you all go up, we won't fall too far behind. Fatty Chu said. All right, Let's work hard together. Sima Yue smiled. With companions, there would be fun and companionship. This feeling was really good. Actually, with their current strength, going up there was no problem. As a professional, having this kind of strength was already very good. However, they definitely couldn't go up with her. Although she didn't tell her, she guessed it. That year, the fierce beasts won the battle. Presumably, there were some people up there who wouldn't be happy to see the 4 great divine beasts. If she went up by herself, there might be some unknown danger. If they followed her, they would only be implicated. When the time came, she would see if she could use the method that she gave her to let them go up. She brought them to bid farewell to Sima Ji Yuan and the others. Then, she went to bid farewell to her parents. Then, she put them and the 3 black shadows into the spirit pagoda. She prepared to use the small throne to go over. Bei Gong Tang and the others came to the spirit pagoda. When they saw the spirit pagoda that had changed, they were deeply moved. Yue has suffered too much these years, Wei Ziqi said with heartache. Yue had told him before that she almost died. Little Spirit was also injured because of it. Even though they used a spatial artifact to repair it, it couldn't be restored to how it was inside. Now that they saw this, they thought of her situation at that time. Let's not think about those sad things anymore. Thinking about it, it can be considered a blessing in disguise. She took the opportunity to enter the ghost realm and save her mother. She completed what she always wanted to do, and her family was reunited. Ouyang Fei said, "Although you say that, I still feel heartache for Yue." Fatty Chu sighed. "I don't know when she will be able to live for herself." Indeed, Sima Yue took out the small throne and sat on it after enlarging it. Soon, she disappeared from the Sima family. In less than half a day, she arrived at the place where the Union Alliance was holding their meeting. It was located in the Tsang State City of the 32 states. Sima Yue directly arrived at the outskirts of the Tsang State City this time. Thinking about the last time she went to the Tsang State City, she still remembered it clearly. At that time, she came for the ancient mine. Because the space in the 32 states was unstable, they came out before they reached the mine. But this time, she was able to arrive at the destination directly. She called Fatty Chu and the others out of the Spirit Pagoda and told them that she had arrived. They still didn't dare to believe it. Yue, isn't your speed too fast? According to the time outside, it only took half a day. You actually went from the 64 states to the 32 states? Fatty Chu shouted. Chu, keep a low profile. Why are you shouting so loudly? Do you want others to come and snatch my small throne? Sima Yue patted his head lightly. Fatty Chu swallowed back his exclamation and said, Your speed is really fast. This is still considered slow. Sima Yue said, The space in the 32 states is unstable. If not, we would have arrived here much earlier. The 32 states, is it the place where you discovered the last time? Wei Ziqi asked. Yes. The ancient mine isn't too far from here. Sima Yue said, If we have time later, we will go there to take a look. Are there still ancient ores there? Fatty Chu asked. There shouldn't be any left. Sima Yue wasn't sure either. Even if the humans didn't mine all the ores, Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior and the others definitely wouldn't leave those treasures behind. Thinking back to her birthday, Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior had sent people to give her a present. It wasn't hard to see that they had quite a few ancient items in their hands. The city gates are about to close. Let's enter the city first. Bei Gong Tang suggested. All right. The 5 of them paid the entrance fee and planned to find an inn to stay in. Just as they entered the inn, they were met with a big black fellow flying towards them. Sima Yue used a burst of spirit energy to make that big fellow stop in front of them. It didn't hit them. Following that, a sharp and harsh voice came from inside. Who are you people? You dare to meddle in this young master's business? Are you tired of living? Chapter 2178. Before Sima Yue and the rest could say a word, they were surrounded by a group of servants. It was only then that they realized that the big black thing was a person. With Sima Yue's help, he managed to stand firm. In the main hall of the inn, a man dressed in flowery clothes was leaning on a chair with a person under his feet. That person was badly beaten up, and his face could not be seen clearly. He was lying on the floor, breathing out more than in. A few people who were not weak stood behind him, looking at what was happening in front of them with indifferent expressions. A few timid people hid in the corner of the main hall and looked at the peacock in fear. Finally, the innkeeper hid behind the counter and did not dare to come out. His eyes were filled with anger and helplessness. With just one look, Yue and the rest understood what was going on. They immediately judged the strength of the enemy. It was not high. They could handle it. After the man in black stood firm, he looked at Sima Yue and the rest and said, "This has nothing to do with you. You should leave quickly. We have no intention of meddling in your business." Fatty Chu said, "We are here to stay. Innkeeper, please give us a separate courtyard." Sima Yue and the rest did not bother about these people and walked towards the counter. Their attitude greatly provoked these people. Peacock waved her hand, and the servants attacked them. Looking for death, Fatty Chu rolled up his sleeves and threw a punch at the servants, sending them flying. He then moved quickly, sending one flying with a kick and one with a punch. More than 10 people were taken care of by him in 2 moves. Sima Yue was shocked by Fatty Chu's fighting ability. She did not expect him to improve so much in just 100 years. TSK, even these people dare to block this young master's path. Fatty Chu blew on his fist after beating them up and looked at Peacock with disdain. Peacock was infuriated. He moved his leg and kicked the person under his foot, using him as a punching bag to kick him over. The man in black went up to save his companion. "Thank you," the man in black said to the peacock. He then helped him to sit at a table and fed him 2 pills. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. She did not expect this man in black to be so evil. While Peacock was furious, she looked at them with murderous eyes. "Do you know who I am? How dare you hurt my people? You are too bold. The few of you, go and kill them all." He waved his hand, and the people behind him moved. The man in black saw them move and stood in front of his companion to protect him. "Really? I don't know who you are," Sima Yue said and disappeared. Those few people were not weak and were not something that Fatty Chu could handle alone. "Pooh, pa!" Several voices sounded at the same time. Then, those people were all thrown outside. Everyone was poisoned and unconscious. But before they fainted, they did not even see Sima Yue's shadow. Sima Yue appeared at her original position again. Everyone in the inn looked at her differently. This was a real expert. However, she had offended the peacock. She would not be able to stay in Songzhou City. The peacock saw that Sima Yue had defeated all his guards alone and knew that he had met a tough opponent. He stood up and ran out, saying, "If you have the guts, stay here and don't leave." "Do you think that your grandfathers are cowards like you? Get lost, peacock." Fatty Chu did not have a good impression of people who wanted to kill him. If he had not just arrived, he might not have been able to leave alive today. Sima Yue stared at Fatty Chu. When did this guy's mouth become so foul? Wei Gongtang and the others were used to him being like this. Fatty Chu was embarrassed by her stare. He rubbed his nose and coughed twice. He then walked to the counter and said, "Shopkeeper, prepare an independent courtyard for us." The shopkeeper glanced at him and then looked at Sima Yue behind him, saying, "It's better that you don't stay here and leave quickly. If you're late, you won't be able to leave." Is that peacock very powerful? He's not powerful, but his identity is very powerful. He is the youngest son of a city lord and is deeply loved by the city lord. However, he is ignorant and incompetent, arrogant and despotic. He also has his father's protection. No one in Songzhou City dares to offend him. The shopkeeper said, "Furthermore, he is a vengeful person. Since you've offended him today, he will definitely come back to find trouble with you. At that time, you won't be as powerful as you are today, so you should leave quickly." "Is this the Union's territory?" Sima Yue asked. "Yes. The city lord belongs to the Union?" "Yes. The Union's meeting is held here?" "Yes." "Then there's no problem. Prepare a courtyard for us." Sima Yue said. The shopkeeper saw that they were insistent and agreed. It just so happens that there's one last independent courtyard. I'll give it to you. Thank you, shopkeeper. Sima Yue smiled at him. She didn't have the imposing manner of beating people up just now. Can we ask you to help us out and let us stay together? The two of us only need one room. That black-clothed man opened his mouth. Seeing that everyone was looking at him, his face turned red. However, he still said, "My friend is injured. With him in this state, moving him would be taking his life. However, there's no other room here." Bei Gongtang looked at the shopkeeper. That's right. Right now, there's only that courtyard in the store that's empty. Originally, they were going to stay in that courtyard. However, that person came, so they didn't stay. The shopkeeper explained. What grudge do you have with him? Ouyang Fei asked. Actually, there's nothing much. The black-clothed man said, We came here today to participate in the alchemy conference later. After we entered the city, we went to the medicine shop. My friend took a fancy to a stock of medicine, and it just so happened that he needed it to refine pills. When it was time to pay, that person insisted on interfering. My friend didn't agree to give in, so there was no need to say the rest. Everyone understood. The angry peacock naturally brought people to cause trouble, who knew that they would meet Sima Yue and the rest. Why don't we just let them stay? With that person's condition, he probably won't be able to leave. Fatty Chu looked at Sima Yue and said, Sure. Anyway, with or without them, Peacock has already included us in the list of enemies. However, if they stay with us, it might be even more dangerous. Sima Yue said, If we lose our lives now, there's no need to talk about the future. The black-clothed man said, Then let's stay. Shopkeeper, lead the way. They had to stay alive first before they could think about other problems. He understood this logic very well. Chapter 2179. The inn's courtyard was not very big and was just enough for them to stay in. Now that there were two more people, Wei Ziqi and Fatty Chu shared a room. The black-clothed man moved his companions into the room and came out to thank Sima Yue. My name is Su Fei Yu, and my friend is Pang Tianming. Thank you for saving my life and taking me in. The Su clan of the 19 states? Sima Yue asked. Su Fei Yu was stunned and admitted. That's right. How did you know? You and Su Yu are somewhat similar. Sima Yue said. So that's how it is. I'm somewhat similar to Uncle. Su Fei Yu smiled. So you know Uncle? I've met him once or twice. Sima Yue said. It just so happens that he is also in the 32 states. Once she said this, Su Tianyu knew. He bowed towards Sima Yue and said, Are you the Sima Yue who saved Uncle? Uncle always said that if I see you, I must thank you properly. I didn't expect to be saved by you guys again today. Sima Yue accepted his bow and asked, Why are there only two of you? Why isn't your clan with you? Since he could call Su Yu uncle, it meant that he was also a direct descendant of the Su clan. Such a person should have someone protecting him. I came to accompany my friend. His clan didn't want him to participate, so I came secretly and didn't bring anyone with me. Su Tianyu explained. Looks like his clan is regretting it. Sima Yue said. Uncle knew that I was coming here and said that he would come in 2 days. Su Tianyu said, Uncle has been talking about you. If he knew that he could see you here, he would be very happy. Then you can wait here for Su Yu. Sima Yue said, Since you are his nephew, I will definitely take care of your safety. However, with your friend's injuries, he probably won't be able to participate in the alchemy competition. Let's save our lives first. Su Tianyu spoke for a while and went back to take care of his friend. He originally wanted to say that those people were not easy to deal with and that he had implicated them. However, when he thought about Sima Yue's identity, he did not have to worry about that at all. She was the vice leader of the Trade Union Alliance. Now that the conference was being hosted here, several presidents were present. Who would dare to bully her here? No wonder she had asked those questions before. Now, he was looking forward to the peacock coming to his door. It would definitely be exciting. As the Cangzhou City's city lord, Kong Fei Luo naturally had to attend the Union Alliance conference. When the day's competition ended, it was already very late when he returned to the city lord's mansion. Therefore, It was already late at night when Peacock Hua brought her men to seek revenge. Hundreds of people surrounded the inn. Sima Yue woke up from her meditation and opened the door calmly. Fatty Chu and the rest also came out, followed by Su Tianyu. Is your friend feeling better? Sima Yue asked. It's already much better. Su Tianyu said. They seem to have brought quite a number of people with them. Then let's go out and meet them. Everyone knew that these people were looking for Sima Yue, and all of them hid in their rooms, not daring to come out. Sima Yue and the rest came out from the courtyard, passed through the main hall, and arrived outside the inn. Housekeeper, it's them. That woman poisoned them, and that man injured the servants. Peacock Hua pointed at Sima Yue and Fatty Chu from behind the crowd. Who are you people? How dare you injure the city lord's mansion's people? How dare you? The housekeeper's voice was very loud, and many people heard the commotion. The number of people surrounding them increased. They want to kill us. Of course we have to retaliate. Don't tell me we're just going to wait for them to kill us. Fatty Chu sneered. Are you stupid or are we stupid? You offended the little young master, so you deserve to be taught a lesson. The housekeeper said. Looks like you're not stupid, but stupid beyond redemption. Fatty Chu sized him up. Did you leave your brain in your mother's womb? If not, how can you say such brainless words? The surrounding crowd let out a few laughs, some of them trying to hold back their laughter. Usually when everyone was bullied by Peacock Hua, they did not dare to speak up. Today, someone finally came to teach them a lesson. Impudent. The housekeeper was ridiculed in front of everyone and flew into a rage. Why? You won't let people speak the truth. Fatty Chu raised his chin and rubbed his nose, looking down on the other party. Of course, this fire was raised to the limit. Go. These people tried to harm the little young master and humiliated the city lord's mansion in front of everyone. Go arrest them. If they dare to disobey, they will die. You can't win, and you want to fight? Looks like you don't want the city lord's position anymore. Fatty Chu laughed, not feeling the impending disaster. The guards surrounded them, but before they could make a move, Sima Yue said, Don't you want to cure the poison in your guards? Stop. Peacock Hua stopped them, then looked at Sima Yue and said, Hand over the antidote. Today, we'll leave your corpses intact. You want the antidote? Call your father over first. Sima Yue stood at the same spot. When those people came over, she didn't even move. You think you have the right to see my father? Peacock Hua laughed. Do you really think you're some big shot? Whether I am or not, you'll know in a while. Sima Yue released her strength. The aura of a paragon ranker stunned everyone. She was actually a paragon ranker? Wasn't she still very young? Su Tianyu was behind her, looking at her in shock. The people from the city lord's mansion were also stunned. This person was actually a paragon ranker? How come they didn't know that a woman had reached the paragon ranker level? Scram back and call Kong Fei Luo over. Sima Yue said indifferently. The people from the city lord's mansion wanted to move, but under her pressure, no one could move. There's no need for so many people to go. You, Sima Yue pointed at a guard. You go back and report. She retracted her pressure, and no one dared to move. The guard who was called out hurriedly ran back. There's no need. This city lord didn't know that such an arrogant paragon ranker had come to the city. Kong Fei Luo brought a few people out of the space and released his paragon ranker aura towards Sima Yue. However, Sima Yue wasn't suppressed like he had expected. Instead, she looked at him without any change in her expression. She had always been more resistant to pressure than others, and this Kong Fei Luo was only slightly stronger than her. How could he suppress her like this? He was thinking too much. Do you think I have the right to dismiss him? Sima Yue asked Bei Gongtang. This kind of person, with such strong strength, staying here as the city lord would be a disaster to the citizens. Chapter 2180. Hearing Sima Yue's words, everyone laughed. Some felt that she was boasting shamelessly, while others felt that she was indulging in fantasy. A mere revered ranker dares to spout nonsense in my Tsang, Zhou City. Kong Fei Luo laughed coldly. This is not a place for you to behave atrociously. These people are disrupting the order of Tsangzhou City during the Union Alliance conference, attempting to influence the conference. They must have been sent by the enemy. Now, I give the order to kill them on the spot. Yes, City Lord. The few people behind him moved. So they were all Paragon-level experts. Sima Yue had to admit that Tsangzhou City's strength was not weak. There were so many revered rankers. It was a pity that the mayor's character was not good. To the citizens, it was not a good thing. Kong Fei Luo, you're not going to ask who she is before killing her? Wei Ziqi crossed his arms in front of his chest and said leisurely, no matter who it is, provoking the Union Alliance is unforgivable. Kong Fei Luo said, it's too late to plead for leniency now. I haven't even said a few words, and I'm already on the death list. I'm afraid it's even more so for those with lower strength. You're doing a great job as the mayor. How come I didn't know that the Union Alliance had such scum? Sima Yue shrugged. I'll have to talk to them when I get back. When choosing a mayor, we have to check one's character first. Kong Fei Luo felt that Sima Yue's words were a little strange. However, after thinking about it, there was no woman in the Union Alliance who had such strength. Therefore, these people were definitely not from the Union Alliance. Then she must have said this to scare him. This kind of person was even more despicable. I have no interest in your nonsense. If you want to see this scene, you'll have to wait for your next life. Kong Fei Luo said, before you die, I'll give you a piece of advice. In your next life, don't provoke people you can't afford to provoke. Sima Yue looked towards the end of the road and laughed. I'll return this sentence to you. Don't provoke people you can't afford to provoke. You still have a sharp tongue before you die. Attack. Kong Fei Luo waved his hand, and the revered rankers were about to attack. The people who were watching the show quickly ran away. They had to be careful not to be caught in the crossfire when the venerable rank experts started fighting. On the other hand, Sima Yue and the rest were very calm. Even though those people were preparing their spiritual techniques, they were not worried at all. This calmness simply made people speechless. However, those people soon found out why. Stop! Who dares to make a move? A shout came from the street. Then, a group of people quickly flew over. When he saw them, Kong Fei Luo, who was high and mighty just now, immediately changed his attitude. Chairman Xia, Chairman Fong, Chairman Shui, Chairman Fan, why are you here? The people who came are the president of the Alchemist Guild, Xiaochang Tian, the president of the Array Master Guild, Fong Ming, the president of the Spirit Seeker Guild, Shuechang Lin, and the president of the Beasthamer Guild, Fan Yuanlong. 4 of the guild leaders had come at once. This was quite a big lineup. However, the guild leaders ignored him and went to Sima Yue, saying, didn't you just say that you wanted to come? How did they arrive so quickly? I say, why didn't you tell us when you arrived? We could have sent someone to pick you up. If you sent someone, I wouldn't have known that the city lord here was so powerful. He killed people just because of a disagreement. Sima Yue said, which one of you chose the city lord? Why don't you take a look at his character? Cough, cough, this, I saw that his strength was still all right. Shuechang Lin replied. This meant that this person was from the Seeker Spirit Master Guild. Chairman Shui, I was just asking them if I have the right to remove a city lord. I don't think I asked you before, so I don't know. Sima Yue said, as the Vice Alliance leader of the Guild Alliance, of course you have the right. Xiaochang Tian said, Yue, you have always been fair. Since you said that you want to remove him, then there must be a very serious problem. Fan Yuan Hui said, Old Shui, what do you think? Shuechang Lin glanced at Kong Fei Luo and did not raise any objections. Then it's decided. We will remove Kong Fei Luo from his city lord position and lock him up temporarily. We will decide how to deal with him after the conference. Fong Ming said. None of the 4 guild leaders spoke up for him. Instead, they all agreed with her suggestion. Kong Fei Luo finally knew that he had kicked an iron plate. Vice Alliance leader, Yue. She was the legendary woman in the Guild Alliance. Everyone in the guild knew that they could offend anyone in the Guild Alliance, but they definitely could not offend Sima Yue. If they offended her, then they would not be able to make a comeback. He suddenly regretted that he did not ask about her identity. When she said that, he should have thought more about it. Although the people he brought listened to his orders, they were still part of the Guild Alliance. Someone came up to capture him, but his guards did not move. He wanted to resist, but when he thought about the Guild Alliance's strength, he gave up and obediently followed those people. When the surrounding people saw that he was really captured, they all cheered and congratulated him. When the few guild leaders saw this scene, they did not need to think to know how unpopular Kong Fei Luo was. They did not know how much evil he had done to make the citizens of the city so happy. Yue, when did you come? Weren't you in State 64 a few days ago? How did you get here so quickly? I only arrived this evening. Who knew that I would encounter such a situation the moment I arrived? Sima Yue was also helpless. At her current level, she was no longer interested in face-slapping matters. However, there were people who insisted on throwing themselves at her, so she could only take care of those scum. I remember that your birthday banquet was 5 days ago, right? It's only been 5 days. How did you come from State 64 to State 32? Fong Ming asked. Someone gave me a treasure. Sima Yue did not say clearly, but since she said so, no one asked anymore. Only Xiaochang Tian still pulled her and said, such a powerful treasure. When we return, bring me to play with it too. All right. Sima Yue nodded. All right. Why don't I see the other guild leaders? The Armament Master competition just ended today. He Chun Dong and the rest are settling the final matters. So when we receive your message, we came over first. Fan Yuan Hui said. The Armament Master competition ended so quickly? Yes, it will be the Alchemist competition in 2 days. You can take the chance to see if those fellows in the guild have improved. Xiaochang Tian said, if they know that you're here, who knows how excited they will be. Sima Yue wanted to say that she was not familiar with the people in the guild. Chapter 2181. The few guild leaders saw Sima Yue's serious expression and knew that she had something important to say. Since that's the case, you can come back with us. Xiaochang Tian said. The Guild Alliance was holding a meeting here, so they definitely had a place to stay. Sima Yue looked at the crowd and nodded in agreement. Now that everyone knew her identity, they also knew that she was the city lord. Once this news spread, there would definitely be more people coming to see her. She did not like being stared at like a gorilla. She turned to Su Tianyu and said, I'll let the two of you stay in this courtyard. If anyone dares to bully you, go to the Guild Alliance and look for me. All right. Su Tianyu was not worried about his own safety at all. With her words, who would dare to bully them? As for Bei Gongtang and the others, they naturally followed her. When they reached the Guild Alliance, there were already people who had specially prepared a courtyard for them. After chasing away the guild members who had come to watch the show, Xiaochang Tian asked her, what news do you have to tell us? Invite President He and President Xiang over first. This is very important. It's best that you all are present. Sima Yue said. When she said that, Xiaochang Tian and the others realized the seriousness of the matter. Although they did not know what important news she could bring to them since she had just woken up for 3 months, but since she said that, it meant that the news was important enough. Go see if old He and old Xiang are done with their work. If they are, let them come over. Shuechang Lin said to his personal bodyguard. Yes. The bodyguard accepted the order and left. The living room quietened down. They were all thinking about what Sima Yue was talking about. Their instincts told them that the news this time was not good. Why did you choose to hold the meeting in the 32 states? Your base camp doesn't seem to be here, right? Or did you all move after I slept for 100 years? Sima Yue diverted their attention so that they would not be so nervous. Actually, this has something to do with the ancient spirit beasts. Fong Ming said. Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior, and the others? That's right. Fong Ming nodded. The matter with the Sage Pavilion last time brought our relationship with the ancient spirit beasts closer. This time, we chose this place because of Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior's request. Sima Yue acutely sensed that their relationship had not just become closer. Otherwise, why would they come here because of Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior's request? We want to move our headquarters to the 32 prefectures so that we can help the ancient spirit beast race. Xiaochang Tian was much more straightforward. He felt that there was no need to hide these things from Sima Yue. What's the matter? Sima Yue asked. Logically speaking, the current world was still considered peaceful. To a certain extent, the trade union alliance should be stronger than a first-rate force. Why would they want to help the ancient spiritual beasts? This continent may seem peaceful, but has long been filled with hidden waves. Shui Zhonglin said, the other powers have their own fighting strength. Although our status isn't low, if we really want to fight, we can't beat those people. So, you want to borrow the power of the ancient spiritual beasts. Sima Yue said, the previous incident made us understand that even if we know how to refine pills, forge weapons, search for spiritual beasts, and tame spiritual beasts, without true strength, we will still become lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Furthermore, this is because we know those things, so it's easier for others to covet us. Sima Yue understood. It seemed like the incident with the black-robed men made them feel threatened. Similarly, if the ancient spiritual beasts wanted to establish themselves in the human realm, it was impossible to completely isolate themselves from the humans. Who knew how many people in this continent had designs on them? Who didn't wish to have some ancient spiritual beasts as contract beasts? Almost everyone in the Sima family had one. This was something that others could only dream of. Even having one was something worth bragging about. The ancient spiritual beasts were strong in battle and were very united. Even if one wanted to attack them, no one would be able to do it in a short period of time. However, this didn't mean that humans wouldn't think of other ways to deal with them. For example, several powers working together. Since it's like this, it's not bad to be able to move here. Sima Yue didn't have any thoughts about the headquarters. Whether it was here or outside, it was the same to her. Since we decided to make this place our headquarters, we want to use this meeting to pave the way. At this moment, Xiang Yang and He Qindong walked in. Seeing Sima Yue, the two of them were a little excited and exchanged greetings. All right, Yue, they're here. Can you tell us what you wanted to tell us now? Xiaochang Tian asked. The black-robed men didn't disappear. Sima Yue said, they're about to appear again. What? Are you sure? The few presidents' hearts sank. The thing that they were worried about was about to happen. It's absolutely true. Sima Yue said, I would rather this news be false, but she sighed. She didn't have any good feelings towards the black-robed men. The black-robed men haven't made any movements yet. How did you know? Xiang Yang asked. You should know about Mu Si's disappearance. Sima Yue said, we know about your disciple. When we received the request for help from the Sima family, we even sent people to search for him. But there was no news at all. It was as if he had disappeared into thin air. Xiaochang Tian said. Could it be that his disappearance has something to do with the black-robed men? Didn't they say that he disappeared in the Sima family? The black-robed men went to the Sima family and no one noticed? If that was really the case, then the situation was a little serious. After all, the Sima family now and the Sima family in the past were worlds apart. If even they didn't notice, then wouldn't the black-robed men's abilities be much higher? At that time, I was still in a deep sleep, but I regained my consciousness. While I was looking around, I happened to see the scene where he was captured. Sima Yue said, he was indeed captured by the black-robed men in the secret room where I was sleeping. No wonder the entire continent was searching for him, but there was no news at all. He Qindong said they were able to hide for more than 100 years. This means that they're very good at hiding their tracks. Just because of this, you think that the black-robed men are about to appear? Fan Yuanhui still had some doubts. Actually, it was Little Helper who said it. Sima Yue said, he divined that the continent is about to be in chaos, and it has something to do with the black-robed men. Then, she told them what Little Helper said, and said, last time, the black-robed men had been eyeing the various guilds. Now that they have appeared, I wonder if they will set their sights on the guild alliance again. She felt that the possibility was very high. Chapter 2182. Actually, the last time the black-robed men disappeared, it was very strange. They didn't cause much harm to the Sage Pavilion, but they suddenly disappeared. They didn't appear for over 100 years. At that time, we thought that they might appear again. But they didn't appear even after 100 years, so we thought that this matter was buried in history. We didn't think that they would appear now. He Dong sighed. After the Sage Pavilion incident, the black-robed men didn't appear again? Sima Yue asked in surprise. Yes, it was as if they died with the Sage Pavilion's pavilion master and never appeared in the continent again. Looking at it now, this saying isn't very accurate. Fong Ming said, "It should be said that the black-robed men disappeared when Yue fell into a deep sleep, and when she woke up, they became restless." Fong Ming, how can you say that? Xiaochang Tian shouted. You're saying that this was done by Yue? When he said this, everyone felt that Fong Ming's words were really ambiguous in this regard. Why did the black-robed men disappear when she fell into a deep sleep? Now that she woke up, the black-robed men appeared. Didn't that mean that she was controlling the black-robed men? Old Xiao, why are you so anxious? You know that's not what I meant. Fong Ming was speechless at Xiaochang Tian's unreliable personality. If that's not what you meant, then why do you say that? Xiaochang Tian blew his beard and glared, staring at him as if he wanted to eat him up. If Fong Ming dared to say that again, he would fall out with him. Fong Ming really wanted to roll his eyes at him. Old Xia, don't be anxious. Old Fong is worried about Yue. He Dong said. Worried about Yue? How can you say that? Xiaochang Tian didn't believe him. Old Fong is right. The black-robed men did disappear after Yue fell into a deep sleep, and they only made a comeback after she woke up. But Old Fong doesn't mean that Yue is manipulating this matter, but that the timing is so coincidental that Yue might be implicated in this. He Dong explained. That's what I meant. Fong Ming said, Old Xia, can you not be like a firecracker and explode at once? Oh, so that's what you meant. Xiaochang Tian chuckled at Fong Ming. Now that you've explained it, it does seem to be the case. This is too much of a coincidence. No, this is not a coincidence. Sima Yue was very grateful for Xiaochang Tian's protection of her. At the same time, she sighed at how smart these people were. She had only revealed a bit of information, and they were able to guess the connection. Are you saying that this matter is really related to you? In Xiaotong's words, I'm deeply involved. Sima Yue said, even when they took Musi away, it was to lure me into the water. The incident with the men in black did not happen because of me, but now it has happened again because of me. It's actually true. But why? What does this have to do with you? Sima Yue shrugged. This child can't do it either. He said that he can't see my divination clearly. If that's the case, why did you come out? You should stay in the clan. Xiaochang Tian said worriedly. We don't even know the reason, do we? Even if I stay at home, I won't know. I might as well come out. Sima Yue said, I'm not worried about myself now. What I'm worried about is whether they will target the Guild Alliance again. So, I came this time mainly to tell you about this matter, so that you can be prepared. When the time comes, you won't be caught off guard. You could just tell us about this kind of thing. Is there a need for you to come here, personally? Xiaochang Tian said, since the matter with the men in black is related to you, it won't be very dangerous for you to come out. If I didn't tell you, would you believe this news when you hear it? Sima Yue asked. Besides, didn't you guys invite me to participate in the Guild Alliance meeting? The other guild leaders also thought of this possibility. After all, the black-clothed man had been silent for so many years. If he suddenly sent them a message saying that the black-clothed man was about to reappear, they wouldn't have believed it. At the very least, they wouldn't have been as certain as they were now. Naturally, they wouldn't have made sufficient preparations. Since you're already here, there's no point in talking about this. But during this period of time, you definitely can't go out alone. Bring more people with you. If they want to make a move on you, it'll be better to take care of you. That's right. Did you only bring those few friends of yours when you came out? Why don't we give you some people? No need. I brought a few people with me. It's just that I don't like them following me around. If I'm in danger, they will appear. Sima Yue was treated like this by them and instantly felt a lot of pressure. I'm not telling you guys to worry about me. You can't just ignore me and focus on the guild. All right, we know that you don't like to be restrained. Also, you always know your limits. We won't nag you. He Dong said, if there's anything you need, just tell us. I will. Sima Yue replied. All right, it's already very late. She's in a rush and only reached Songzhou City today. Let her rest well. Shui Lin said. Let's find a place to discuss this properly. You and your friends should rest well first. In 2 days, when the alchemy competition starts, you can go and take a look. Okay. Sima Yue sent the guild leaders off. Wei Ziqi and the rest walked over and said, How is it? Do they believe you? I've told them everything that I can. They should believe it, but it's still too early to do anything about it. Sima Yue said, but the process of moving their headquarters to the 32 states might be accelerated. All right, everyone is tired from the night. Let's all go and rest. Sima Yue returned to her room. Instead of cultivating, she set up an enchantment and really went to sleep. The next morning, she felt that someone was attacking her enchantment. She thought to herself, who was so daring to attack her enchantment. She would definitely teach them a lesson later. Just as she woke up, she heard an excited voice. Sister, sister, quickly open the door. It was an unfamiliar voice. Sima Yue ran through her mind. She had no impression of it. It didn't seem like someone she knew. However, if she didn't know who it was, how would she know that the person living here was a girl? She got up and opened the enchantment. When she opened the door, a little fellow quickly flew into her arms. Sister, you're finally up. Woo-woo, Xiao Shi missed you so much. Sima Yue looked at Xiao Shi, who had transformed into a 6 or 7-year-old baby. She looked at Xiao Shi and blinked. Are you really Xiao Shi? Why did your aura change? Chapter 2183. Little Lucky was sad. He had thought of his sister for over 100 years, but she could not recognize him. I've grown up. I've grown up. Little Lucky protested. I was still a baby before, but I'm already a child now. How can Big Sister not recognize Little Lucky? Sima Yue saw that Little Lucky was about to cry, so she squatted down and pinched his little face, smiling. Now Big Sister knows it's you. Be good. Don't be sad anymore. So when Little Lucky grows up, his aura will change as well. It's not because I've grown up. It's because Father awakened my bloodline. My current bloodline is even better than Father's. Little Lucky said, but Father said that the current environment is not as good as before, so my speed of growth is too slow. Sima Yue saw that Little Lucky's strength had increased several times. She saw his little face wrinkle as he lamented that his strength was growing too slowly. She rubbed his little head and said, Take it slow. You're still young. As long as you work hard, you'll become very strong. Yes. That's what Father said too. Little Lucky smiled again. Sima Yue also smiled with him. He was really an easy child to coax. Who did you come with? Where's your father? It was Father who brought me here. But he's looking for those presidents now. I knew you were here, so I came to find you. I just got here last night. You're here so quickly? We weren't very far from here in the first place. Father brought me here, so we'll be here soon. Little Lucky said. After that, he leaned close to Sima Yue's ear and said mysteriously, The place we live in is nearby. Father said that I can't tell anyone, but I can tell Big Sister. Sima Yue was slightly surprised. She did not expect that the ancient spirit beast headquarters would be so close to Songzhou City. Could it be that the presidents were planning to set their headquarters in Songzhou City? And Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior had rushed over, so the presidents were planning to bring forward their plans. Big Sister, what are you thinking about? Little Lucky saw that she was in a daze and tugged at her clothes. Nothing. Sima Yue smiled. Since your father is busy, then you can play here. I'll let Little 7 and Little 11 play with you. Okay? I remember Little 7. Who's Little 11? Little Lucky tilted his head and asked. Little 11 is the youngest daughter of my godfather and godmother. She is the little princess of the Violet Water Dragon clan. She seems to be about the same age as you. Sima Yu said as she called out little 7 and little 11, letting little 7 play with them. No problem. I was the one who played with little Lucky in the past. Little 7 patted her chest and said heroically. Although little 7's appearance had grown up, her temperament was still that of a child's. Now that she was playing with the 2 children, she had already become the king of the children. Little 11 and little Lucky were both spirit beasts in human form. It was easier for boys and girls to get along with each other. With little 7 taking care of them, the 2 of them quickly became familiar with each other. Sima Yue felt some movement in the spirit pagoda. She was a little excited and her eyes turned red. She quickly went back to her room and set up a barrier before entering the spirit pagoda. In the spirit pagoda, the beasts had arrived at Little Purple's room and surrounded Little Purple, who was sleeping on the small bed. On the small bed beside her, Little Black was also sleeping. "You, Little Purple is finally going to wake up." Little Roar jumped on his Sima Yoyue's shoulder and said excitedly. "After sleeping for so long, it's finally going to wake up." Little Dream said with heartache. Sima Yue walked to the side of the small bed and carried Little Purple up. She then sat on a stool that appeared out of nowhere and placed Little Purple on her lap, gently stroking its back. During the Spirit King's robbery, Little Purple had absorbed too much tribulation lightning, especially the last tribulation lightning. In order to protect Sima Yue, it had absorbed too much. After the tribulation lightning ended, it fell into a deep sleep to digest the energy it had absorbed. As for Little Black, because the tribulation lightning had removed its seal, it had turned into a blood demon. However, because Little Purple was in a deep sleep, she was also injured. If it wanted to devour Sima Yue, no one could stop it. Therefore, Dark took advantage of its injury and sealed it again. It would only wake up when Little Purple woke up. However, Dark was able to throw her 2 contracted beasts into the spirit pagoda when she was in a deep sleep. His strength had once again surprised her. After so many years, Little Purple was finally going to wake up. After a while, Little Purple finally opened its eyes slowly. Little Purple's eyes were a little confused at first, then it became clear, but it was still a little weak. It looked at Sima Yue and said, "I said I'm very reliable." Sima Yoyue's eyes were instantly wet. She pursed her lips and nodded heavily. "I'm still a little sleepy. I want to sleep for a while more." Little Purple said, "Sleep." Sima Yue hugged it and said softly, "In." Little Purple closed its eyes and suddenly opened them again. It said, "Where's that stupid dog?" It remembered that it seemed to have removed its seal. It's still in a deep sleep. When you wake up, it can remove the new seal for it. Hearing her words, Little Z fell asleep with a peace of mind. It didn't sleep for long. Sima Yue stayed in the spirit pagoda for 2 days before it woke up. After waking up this time, it had recovered most of its energy. Sima Yue watched it get up and stretch. Then, she walked slowly to Little Black. Dark said that only Little Purple's lightning could remove the seal that he put in Little Black's body. Therefore, Little Purple put its little paw on Little Black and released a big lightning. The electric current flowed through Little Black's body. As the electric current flowed through its body, Little Black's aura slowly changed. It opened its eyes and happened to meet Sima Yoyue's eyes. They were speechless for a moment. Sima Yue was used to Little Black's adorableness. Seeing Little Black like this, she didn't know how to get along with it. And now, she couldn't even sense Little Black's thoughts. A black light flashed on Little Black's body. When it appeared again, it was no longer Dark Dog, but a man in black. But that pair of eyes was still the same as Little Black's. Sima Yue saw that he was silent and felt a little short of breath. She smiled and said that, at that time, the contract with you was a temporary measure. If you want to cancel the contract, I no need. Little Black said faintly. Then it got up and went out. Sima Yue saw its proud and cold back and was speechless. Little Purple didn't want it. Could it be that it could be so arrogant in human form? A purple light flashed, and it turned into a man with purple hair, purple clothes, and purple eyes. He threw a lightning at Little Black. Little Black turned around and stretched out its hand. Its palm emitted a black light. The lightning was wrapped in the black light and dissipated before it could get close to him. "Damn, you're so capable," Little Purple said as it released a few more lightning bolts. Little Black caught them all. The ones that he didn't manage to catch left a few holes in the ground of the house. Chapter 2184. Little Black and Little Purple started a fight, and the building they lived in was demolished in just a few moments. Everyone in the Spirit Pagoda came to watch the fight, and no one tried to stop them. Seeing that the fight was going to affect the medicine fields, Little Spirit got angry and locked the two up. "Whoever dares to destroy the Spirit Pagoda, I will strip them naked," Little Spirit said angrily. Now the people who were fighting stopped, and the people who were watching stopped. They were all looking at the place where they stood to see if there were any medicinal herbs. Who asked Little Spirit to have such an ability? They did not want to be stripped naked by him. Little Roar sat calmly on Sima Yoyue's shoulder. He was not afraid of Little Spirit's threat, as he had not transformed yet. He said to the two who were still angry in the air, "I say, you two have slept together for hundreds of years. Why do you fight when you wake up? Is it because the way you communicate is different from us?" "Shut up, shut up." The two were in agreement this time. Little Roar saw the two looking at him and decided to go outside to find Little Seven to hide. Sima Yu threw it out of the Spirit Pagoda, then said to Little Purple and Blackie, "The house you're living in has been destroyed. Little Spirit won't strip you of your clothes this time. You two can repair the house. Only the two of you can fix it. No one else can help. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it." They were surprisingly in agreement. "Not willing?" Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. "Little Spirit, it's better to strip their clothes." "Stop, stop." Sima Yu looked at the two of them who had suffered internal injuries and pursed her lips into a smile. "Since they have agreed, Little Spirit, let them out and supervise them to fix the house." Little Spirit released the two and appeared in the air. He crossed his arms in front of his chest and supervised the two with a black face. Little Purple and Little Black had been in the Spirit Pagoda for a long time and knew Little Spirit's ability and temper. Although he was usually easy to talk to, when he was angry, other than Yue, no one dared to provoke him. This was because he would think of many strange ways to punish them. Thus, the two of them went to chop trees, strike stones, and repair houses with dark faces. They didn't say a single word during the entire process. However, Sima Yue could feel the tension between the two of them. With Little Spirit watching over them, she went out with a peace of mind. Little Seven, Little Lucky, Little 11, and Little Roar were no longer in the courtyard. They said they went out to play. It's in the territory of the Union Alliance, so there shouldn't be any problems. Wei Ziqi appeared at the door. "Previously, I saw you rushing back. Did something happen?" Xiao Zi and Xiao He are awake. Sima Yue replied, "Where are Bei Gong and the rest?" "They've all gone out to wander around." Wei Ziqi said, "It's not like you don't know Fatty's personality. He likes to be lively." Ouyang and Bei Gong were afraid that it wouldn't be safe for him to go out alone, so they went together. "Why didn't you go?" Sima Yue asked. Wei Ziqi's eyes flashed, and the corner of his mouth curled up into a smile. "I stayed behind to tell you. If you don't see them when you come out, you won't know where to find them." "Thank you, Ziqi." Sima Yue smiled. "Since they've all left, let's have some tea." "Sure." The two of them came to the pavilion, and Sima Yue took out the tea set to brew tea. She was in a good mood today and had the leisure to brew kung fu tea. After pouring the tea, she gave it to Wei Ziqi. After going to so many places, the environment in the human world is still the best. Sima Yue liked the blue sky, white clouds, green mountains, and clear waters of the human world. When she had time, she would hold a cup of hot tea and feel her heart calm down. Wei Ziqi looked at the refined and quiet her and felt his heart calm down as well. He lowered his head and lightly sipped the tea. The corner of his mouth couldn't help but curl up. The two of them casually drank tea and chatted. It was rare for the two of them to spend time alone. Sima Yue taught him some methods to tame beasts and then talked about their own experiences. The entire afternoon passed by with the faint fragrance of tea. In the evening, little Seven brought the two little fellows and little Roar back. The moment the little fellows came back, they pulled her to tell her about the things they heard outside during the day. It was a small matter, but made the two little fellows very happy. Sima Yue gave little Seven a look of approval, and little Seven proudly raised her chin. It was just dealing with two little fellows. To her, it was a piece of cake. Today, little Purple and little Black fought inside and tore down a house. I don't know if it affected Qing Yi's closed-door training place. Before Sima Yue could finish speaking, little Seven was already making a fuss about going back. And she was not going to stay anymore. Sima Yue kept little Seven, little 11, and little Roar back into the Spirit Pagoda. As for little Lucky, his father would come to pick him up in a while. At this time, Fatty Chu and the others also came back and pulled Sima Yue to talk for a while. Wei Ziqi sat alone in the pavilion and looked at the teacup in his hand with a bitter smile on his face. However, that bitterness only lasted for a moment. When everyone returned to the pavilion, it had already disappeared. "We went out for half a day, and you all just stayed here to drink tea?" Fatty Chu asked. "Oh, and there's so many snacks." Wei Ziqi put down the teacup in his hand and laughed lightly. "Who asked you to go shopping? Who knew that Yue would come out so early?" Fatty Chu said. "I also learned how to make tea. Do you want me to make it for you to drink?" Wei Ziqi said, and then looked at Sima Yue and said, "Yue, can you give this tea set to me?" "Of course." Sima Yue took out many types of tea leaves and placed them in front of him. "Let me know if you want to drink it in the future." "Okay." Wei Ziqi thought about how he said that he liked to drink tea and kept the tea leaves. There are many types of liking. Why should he differentiate which type of liking? Fatty Chu sat down beside him and said reluctantly, "Since it's like this, then I'll let you make some tea for us and see how you've learned." "I made it. It doesn't taste good. You have to drink it too." Wei Ziqi cleaned the tea set and then made a pot of tea and distributed it to a few teacups. Bei Gongtang and Ouyang Fei also went over, and each of them took a cup and tasted it, saying, "Not bad, Ziqi. The taste of this tea is quite fragrant." Wei Ziqi took a sip and furrowed his brows slightly. He put down the teacup and said, "Compared to Yoyue's tea, it's really miles apart. I clearly followed what you said and paid attention to it." Sima Yue took a sip of the tea and said, "It's still quite tasty. You also need to practice when making tea. In the future, you have to be very precise with the temperature and timing of the tea." After that, Sima Yue taught him a few other ways to make tea. She even gave him a few tea sets to use to make different types of tea. In the years that followed, the thing that Wei Ziqi would do the most was to brew a pot of tea and slowly enjoy it while he was cultivating. Chapter 2185. While they were still drinking tea, Xia Changtian, He Chandong, and Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior came over. When little Lucky saw Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior, he obediently called out Dad. His personality was very different from when he was with Sima Yue. President, Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior. Sima Yue stood up to welcome them. "Drinking tea," Xia Changtian said sourly. There were so many things going on in the alliance. He was so busy that his feet didn't even touch the ground, but they were here drinking tea and chatting. More accurately, it wasn't them, it was her. Sima Yue pretended not to understand him and said, "That's right. Do you want to join us?" "That's good too. We also have some things to discuss with you," Xiaochang Tian said. "Yue, we're almost done drinking. Let's go back to the house first. You guys have a good chat." Wei Ziqi and the others stood up to leave. Before they left, they cleaned up the stone table. Sima Yue made another cup of tea for each of them. She just left the one she made on the table and didn't drink it. In the afternoon, she was about to become a bucket. "Yue, after our discussion, we decided to move our headquarters to Tsangzhou City after the conference. Tsangzhou City will no longer have a city lord and will be directly managed by the Alliance." Dong spoke first. "When I saw Little Lucky, I guessed it." Sima Yue wasn't surprised at all. He Dong and Xiaochang Tian looked at each other. This little guy was just so sharp. Nothing could be hidden from him. Little Lucky sat beside her and didn't listen to them. He kept eating the snacks on the table. When he heard Sima Yue mention his name, he raised his head to look at her. Sima Yue patted his head, and he lowered his head to continue eating. Sima Yue didn't care about him. After all, this little guy could eat a lot since he was young. As for Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior, he didn't have any thoughts about his child being close to her. He didn't even look at him, as if he wasn't his son. What do you think? Xiaochang Tian asked her. I think it's fine too, Sima Yue said. The earlier we move here, the more we'll be at ease. You don't have any objections? The matters that you presidents have discussed must have been carefully considered. It's not like a few kids are messing around. I don't have any objections, Sima Yue said. She had never cared about the affairs of the Alliance and had been in hibernation for more than 100 years. She didn't even fully understand the current situation of the continent. So what kind of opinions could she give? In order not to cause trouble for them, she had no objections at all. Actually, they didn't really think that she would have any constructive opinions. Asking her was just out of habit. Did you come here to pick up little Lucky? Sima Yue asked Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior. Since they had already discussed the matter, Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior would definitely return. Since the father was about to leave, people would naturally think that he was here to pick up his son. When little Lucky heard this, he looked up at Sima Yue with an aggrieved expression. He then looked at Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior and pouted unhappily. In the end, he did not say anything. I'm not here to pick him up. Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior looked at Sima Yue and habitually thought of that person from the past. If he wasn't here to pick up little Lucky, why was he here? I'm here to talk to you about something. Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior's serious expression made Sima Yue a bit nervous. She wondered what he was here for. In the end, she couldn't guess what it was. Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior was not in a rush to say it. It was as if he wanted to keep her in suspense, but also as if he was hesitating whether or not to tell her. This made Sima Yue even more curious. What is it? She asked. Since we're already here, it's not the time to think about that. He Dong said. Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior thought about it and agreed. If it was someone else, he might not hesitate. But this person was her. He did not want to drag her into danger. Even He Dong said this, so Sima Yue was even more curious. Luckily, at this time, Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior finally spoke. Do you still remember the ancient mine where we woke up? Of course I remember. How could she forget something so deeply etched in her memory? We're living there. Recently, we discovered an unstable energy. Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior said. You're still living there? Wasn't the Takagon desert broken by someone the last time? Sima Yue said in surprise. For ancient spirit beasts like them, shouldn't they be living in a more secretive place? We changed the movement of the desert, so no one can come in. Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior said. Sima Yue was even more surprised now. When she, Yue, and the others went in, they knew that the desert was always moving. She never thought that they could change its movement. If that's the case, then that's for the best. But since others can break it once, they can break it twice. It's better to be careful. Sima Yue said. Yes, we've already nurtured a group of desert spirit beasts. There are eyes outside. Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior replied. He had already considered all the problems that Sima Yue was thinking about, so it wasn't a problem now. Then what's the energy you were talking about? Sima Yue asked. It's near the mine. Recently, there's been a surge of energy. Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior said. That energy is very strange. We can't go near it. She saw that He Dong and Xiaochang Tian weren't surprised, so she asked, President, you've all gone to take a look? Yes, before the convention. But we couldn't go near it. He Dong said. Sima Yue frowned. There was actually such a strange energy? Is that place protected by a barrier? She asked. That's right. Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior said. Other than the barrier, there's also an unknown energy that prevents people from going near it. Sima Yue knew why they came to find her. More accurately, they didn't come to find her, but to find Little Roar. You want me to go into the barrier to take a look? She said with certainty. If it was in the past, we wouldn't have thought of this. But for what happened last night, your strength has already advanced to the Paragon rank. You can be considered as one of the top experts in the continent. Even if there's danger, you have the ability to deal with it. Enchanting said, "Of course, this depends on you. If you don't want to go, we won't force you." Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior said, "Did that energy affect your lives?" Sima Yue asked. "2 of our clansmen went in and never came out." Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior replied. "So it was like that." Sima Yue understood his thoughts. In such a dangerous place where their clansmen lived, no one would be at ease. "All right, I'll go with you to take a look," Sima Yue replied. Chapter 2186. They didn't think that Sima Yue would agree so quickly and thought that it would take some persuasion. After all, the place they were going to was so dangerous. Sima Yue agreed to go because she wanted to see if she could help Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior get rid of his biggest problem. Secondly, it was because that year in the ancient mines she had also discovered that power. At that time, she had thought that she would definitely go back and take a look when she had the power. "Since you've decided, when will you go?" Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior asked. Before Sima Yue could say anything, Xiaochang Tian spoke first. "Your situation has been around for a long time. There's no need to rush now. She can go after the Great Assembly." Xiaochang Tian was still thinking about letting her watch the competition. "The Alchemist Guild competition is coming up, right? Then I'll finish watching the competition before leaving." Sima Yue said, "If you want to move your headquarters here after the competition ends, you will definitely have to start during the Great Assembly. Such a big thing, you will definitely have to announce it to the world. Who knows, there might even be some ceremonial things. I don't care if I can participate or not, as long as you don't have any objections. Then you should go earlier. However, you definitely have to watch the Alchemist Guild's competition. And then, you can go after the competition ends," Xiaochang Tian said. Sima Yue knew that he would reply like this. She looked at Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior, and Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior nodded. He could afford to wait for a few days. "Then Little Lucky hasn't seen you for so many years. Just let him stay by your side," Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior said lightly. Sima Yue, this old man's heart was really big. Wasn't he afraid that she would kidnap his son and sell him? She thought so and said so, but what she got in return was Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior's disdain. "You don't have the intelligence." Sima Yue, after saying that, they left, leaving behind a speechless Lin Sanjiu and a jubilant Little Lucky. To be able to follow her, it made him so happy. Sima Yue brought her into the Spirit Pagoda while he ran off to play with Little Roar. This speed made her deeply suspect whether he was so happy for her or for her beasts. The Spirit Pagoda had been restored to its original state, and the destroyed buildings had been rebuilt. Moreover, those buildings were 90% similar to the previous buildings. It seemed that the 2 of them had a deep impression of the buildings here. However, the 2 of them were now standing on the rooftop of a building. Their auras were strong. Were they going to fight again? If the 2 of you want to fight again, then go somewhere where there's no one around. Sima Yue looked at them and said, "Otherwise, I'll let Little Spirit take off your clothes." Her threat was somewhat effective. The 2 of them at least restrained their auras a little. Finally, Little Black turned around and flew away. Little Purple rolled her eyes at Little Black's back, and then with a flash of purple light, she turned into a little purple cat again. She walked gracefully on the eaves, like a superior master. Sima Yue looked at Little Black's back and sighed slightly. Then, she flew in the direction he left. She chased after him for a long time before she saw him at a mountain peak that no one usually went to. He stood at the top of the mountain, looking at the endless mountain range. The mountain range was shrouded in mist, making one unable to see the scenery in the distance. Just like the confusion in his eyes. He felt that Sima Yue had come over, but he did not say anything. To be honest, his feelings towards Sima Yue were a little complicated. He did not even know how to face her. Sima Yue wanted to call him Little Black, but she felt that this name was not suitable for him, so she stopped herself. The atmosphere became awkward. It's okay, Little Black said lightly. Cough, cough, what I said before. Do you want to consider it? Sima Yu asked. Consider what? Consider where I came from and where I'm going? Little Black said, I don't like to think about these useless things. Where did he come from? The death aura of heaven and earth nourished him. Where was he going? He did not even know what he was living for. So where could he go? Sima Yue felt the sadness coming from him, and her heart ached slightly. She still liked the ignorant and stupid little black dog. You don't want me anymore? Little Black looked at her with hurt eyes. Why would I not want you? We are a family. Sima Yue said, I just feel that you were already sealed when we made the contract. At that time, you did not understand these things at all. Now that you have broken the seal and understood these things, I naturally have to respect your opinion. Then there's no need. Let's leave it at that. Little Black said. Although he was very stupid when he was sealed, he could feel that Sima Yue treated him sincerely. He also knew that he had unknowingly accepted her. Otherwise, after the calamity, when little Z fell into a coma and she was seriously injured, when he had just broken the seal, his consciousness was still very hazy. When she was killing people everywhere, all she did was call out his name weakly, and all the evil aura in his body was controlled. Sima Yue saw that he spoke calmly and his aura was cold. She suddenly missed her big black dog. It was a pity that she would not be able to see it in the future. Actually, you don't have to feel embarrassed. Sima Yue walked to his side and looked at his side profile, saying, no matter if it was you in the past or now, you are still our family. Everyone will get used to the current you very quickly. Little Black nodded and did not say anything. Have you thought a name for yourself? Sima Yue asked him. Seeing that Little Black was confused, she explained, Little Black is you who is sealed. Now that you are not sealed, you naturally have to change your name. Actually, she really could not connect the person in front of her with the ignorant little black dog. Moreover, Little Black could only be that little black dog, not the person in front of her. Little Black thought for a while and softly said a word, woo. Sima Yue was speechless when she heard this name. Whose underworld beast would think of such a name for itself? Woo. Did it mean that there was no such person in this world? Or that he had nothing and no one to worry about? Sima Yue sighed slightly, saying, since you want to be called this, then we will call you this. At this time, Little Seven ran over. Ching, he was in seclusion not far from here. This is Little Black? Little Seven looked at Little Black, saying, as expected, your aura is completely different from that stupid dog. Woo. What woo? My name is Woo. Little Black. No, Woo said very seriously. Little Seven tilted her head and thought for a while, nodding, saying, all right, then you will be called Woo. Woo, let's go play together. After saying that, she did not care if he would reject her. She pulled him and ran, just like she always did in the past. Chapter 2187. 2 days later, Sima Yue followed a few presidents to watch the Alchemist Guild's competition. The news of Sima Yue's arrival had long spread. Knowing that she would be here to watch the competition, everyone was extremely excited. Especially when she followed the presidents into the competition grounds. Everyone's cheers shook the heavens. It was much more intense than before. These little bastards, they didn't welcome us so enthusiastically when we came in the past. Xiaochang Tian scolded jokingly. That's right, you don't know what position Yue has in their hearts. Yichindong said faintly. Sima Yue was shocked by their craziness and said, it can't be. I've never been in the Alliance, nor have I interacted with them. How can it be so crazy? But they all know what you've done. Fair Eastern City, Sage Pavilion, and the Black Robe Men. They don't need to do too much, as long as it's shocking enough. Shuechong Lin laughed. That's right, and your talents. Alchemy, weapon refining, spirit-seeking array, beast taming, medicine, and poison. Which one do you not know? Which one are you not good at? Even if you didn't do anything, as the Vice Alliance leader, your existence is enough to make them crazy. Xiangyang laughed and teased her. Oh, all right. She felt that she was already low-key enough, but she didn't expect it to be like this. Take your seats. A group of people took their seats, and the MC went up on stage. In the past, everyone would automatically quieten down, but today they were still extremely excited. The entire place was noisy, and many people were shouting Sima Yue's name. The MC looked at the rostrum helplessly. Yue, say a few words to everyone. Otherwise, we won't be able to compete today. He Qindong said. All right. Sima Yue stood up and waved her hands. The place immediately quietened down. This difference made the MC want to cry. Thank you everyone for giving me such a warm welcome. I'm really overwhelmed by your favor. But today's competition is very important. Can everyone quieten down and let the competition begin? I will watch the competition with all of you. Participants who are going to compete today, you have to do your best. I wish you all a good result. She smiled and sat down. The people in the alliance were in an uproar again. Those alchemists who were going to participate in the competition were even more excited. They had seen and heard of Yue's alchemy skills. She was already a goddess in their hearts. Now that their goddess was encouraging them, it was as if they were on steroids. Even those female alchemists were very excited and did not feel the slightest bit of jealousy toward her. Jealousy was a strange thing. When you are better than her, she will be jealous of you. But once her social class rose to a height that she could not touch, then jealousy would turn into admiration and worship, but there would be no jealousy. Little did she know that the person she looked up to was just the person she was jealous of before. This time, they were all very obedient because the goddess wanted them to be quiet and not affect the competition. The host cried again in his heart. Why wasn't he so obedient just now? He was really asking for a beating. All right, let's start today's competition. Alchemists, please enter the competition grounds. Sima Yue watched as the MC announced the rules. It was almost the same as when she participated in the past. In the first round of the written test, each person had an answer sheet. On it, there were many questions about herbs and alchemy. At this moment, Xiaochang Tian passed her test paper. She looked at the questions. It was a thick stack. Some of the questions were easy, some were difficult, some were tricky, some were rare, and some were not very common and would not be used. She quickly finished answering the questions and passed them to Xiaochang Tian. Xiaochang Tian already knew the answer and very quickly marked it for her. Full marks. Xiaochang Tian was not surprised by this result at all. With her ability, this was not a problem for her at all. The last page, I guess many people don't know about it, right? Why is it so difficult? Sima Yue asked. There will be people who will know. Xiaochang Tian said, right now, the guild is planning to nurture a group of talents. Not only those with good talent, but also those with a wide range of knowledge. Sima Yue understood. Those tricky questions were for the people they wanted to nurture. Those who could answer these questions, even if they did not achieve good results, would still be selected. Xiaochang Tian continued, there is only one monster like you. If we want to develop the guild's strength, we can't just rely on talent like before. While others were still scratching their heads, she had already finished and marked it for him. This showed that the difference between her and them was not just a little bit. Is this a compliment? Sima Yue laughed. There's no use in praising you. Our strength still needs to increase. Xiaochang Tian said, there's still a long way to go. We will become stronger. Sima Yue replied. Sima Yue felt that the appearance of the black-clothed men in the past was still a good thing. At least it woke up the various guilds and gave them a sense of crisis. They did not continue to be arrogant and complacent. If they continued to be arrogant and stagnant, that would be the biggest crisis for a guild. When the time was up, the contestants handed in their answers. The morning competition was considered to have ended. In the afternoon, the presidents of the other guilds did not come. Only Sima Yue, Xiaochang Tian, and a few other vice presidents came. The results of the morning competition were out. Those who were able to enter the next round continued with the afternoon competition. Those who were not able to advance returned to the stands to watch with the others. Sima Yue watched the competition for a while and commented on some of the contestants with Xiaochang Tian. She realized that there were indeed some good seedlings in this batch. After the competition ended, Sima Yue and Xia Changtian left together. The two of them went to the resting area. Sima Yue took out a thick stack of pill recipes and passed it to him. These are. Xia Changtian looked at the pill recipes in shock. The more he looked, the more shocked he was. Yue, where did you get all these? Many of these are lost pill recipes. I got them by chance. Sima Yue said, I've seen all the pill recipes in the guild. These are not in there. Good, good. With these, our Alchemist guild will definitely rise to the next level. Xia Changtian was extremely excited. He looked at the pill recipes and was mesmerized. Sima Yue saw his mesmerized look and smiled. Then you look at them first. I'll go back first. See you at the competition tomorrow. Xia Changtian was not in the mood to care about her. He waved at her and said, Go back, go back. Sima Yue smiled and left. The night was dark and the wind was strong. It was the best time to kill someone. In many places in the inner regions, some people who were camping in the wild were secretly surrounded. Before they died, they only saw a group of black, cloaked figures. Chapter 2188. The other places had already started to become chaotic, but because they were too far away, the news did not spread completely. So, the competition continued. Sima Yue would go to every competition. The feeling of sitting on the rostrum and being in the audience was different. Sitting here, she had to observe the whole situation. She no longer just paid attention to one person and no longer cared about the results of the competition. What made her more speechless was that after Xia Changtian got the pill formulas, he did not attend the later rounds of the competition. He only let her and a few vice presidents take charge. Fortunately, the contestants did not care. As long as Sima Yue came, it was fine. The alchemy competition lasted for 7 days. In these few days, the presidents did not come out. Sima Yue guessed that they were moving their headquarters. She did not know if they wanted to take advantage of the time when Sima Yue was here to do those things. On the afternoon of the alchemy competition, Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior came to find her. At that time, she had just returned to her place. It seemed that he was also anxious. She went to find Wei Ziqi and the others and asked them to go with her. This was what they had agreed on before. If it was before, it would be fine. But now, I'm afraid it won't work. Bei Gongtang said. What happened? Sima Yue asked. Seeing that the four of them were hesitant, she asked, Is it related to the black-robed men? Yes. Bei Gongtang nodded. We received news in the afternoon from the valley. They told us to return to the valley first. They said that many people have been killed by the black-robed men recently. They really came out. Sima Yue sighed. But why didn't they directly attack me? That's unknown. Fatty Chu said. We'll go and investigate the black-robed men. If there's any news, we'll tell you. Okay, then you guys be careful. Sima Yue was still worried and called Huan out. Can you help me send them back? Huan hesitated for a moment and said, I can ask someone to send them back. That's fine too. Huan opened the passage to the underworld. Very quickly, more than 10 people came out from the passage. Greetings to Miss, left, and right messengers. Those people kneeled on the ground and saluted. Get up. Sima Yue waved her hand. Miss, why did you call us over? The leader asked. I want you to escort some people and ensure their safety. Is that okay? Sima Yue asked. Sure. Before we came here, the king said that we would listen to Mrs. Arrangements. Thank you for your hard work. Sima Yue said. She then turned to Bei Gongtang and the others and said, Initially, I wanted to spend more time with you guys, but now I can only do this. If there's time, we can travel the continent together. All right, you must be careful. I will. You too, don't do those dangerous things anymore. She was worried about them, and they were even more worried about her, because she always did those crazy things. I know. Go ahead. Sima Yi nodded at them. This subordinate will take his leave. With the people from the underworld sending them off, Sima Yue did not have to worry about their safety. She called Little Seven, Little Shi, and the others who were playing outside back, and left with Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior. While waiting for Little Seven, She went to tell the presidents about the black-robed men and took her leave. The presidents had been rushing to move these few days, and it was the first time they heard about the black-robed men. Looks like we have to speed up, Xiaochang Tian said. Since this matter is related to you, why didn't they come directly to you? Shuichang Lin asked. This question again. Sima Yue shook her head and said, I don't know either. But now that they have appeared, it will be easier to investigate them. Maybe we can find some pattern from these things. At least she had to find out why they did not come directly to her. Little 7, Little Shi, and Little 11 came back. Little 7 said that she met Su Yu on the street with Su Tianyu. Sima Yue thought for a while and asked Xiaochang Tian to take care of them. If anything happened to the two of them, Aunt he would be sad. After giving these instructions, she put Little 7 and the others back into the spirit pagoda, then carried the disguised Little Shi and left with Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior. Takagon Desert. So many things had happened when she came back last time. Coming back again, she seemed to be able to see the scene from back then. With Supreme, 5th Spirit Senior here, she did not need to think of a way to come in like last time, nor did she need to be as careful as last time. Little Shi's long arms hung on her shoulders, and his small body swayed around her body, using her as a rocking chair. Supreme 5th Spirit Senior was beside them, but he did not reprimand him. One had to know that Supreme 5th Spirit Senior was usually very strict with his son and never let him mess around. He did not expect that he would actually let him play this time. And the young master who was not close to anyone was actually so close to a human. It could be seen how special this human girl was to them. Supreme 5th Spirit Senior. She is an important guest of the clan. No one can offend her, and there is no need to care. Do what you need to do. Supreme 5th Spirit Senior ordered the clansmen who surrounded him. Yes, Sima Yue saw that the ancient spirit beasts that had dispersed were all in human form. Those that were not in human form looked much older than the current spirit beasts. I will bring you over now, Supreme 5th Spirit Senior said to Sima Yue. Okay. Sima Yue hugged Little Shi. I want to go somewhere with your father. Can you play here by yourself? I want to go with you. Little Shi refused to come down. The place we're going to is more dangerous. You can't go. When I come back, I will bring you to play, okay? Since it's dangerous, all the more I want to go. I want to protect you. Little Shi shouted. Come down. Supreme 5th Spirit Senior said coldly. With just one look, Little Shi became obedient, but his small eyes looked wronged. Sima Yue patted his head and said, When you grow up and become stronger, you'll protect me, okay? Okay. Little Shi heard her say this, and his expression became better. She put Little Shi down. Little Shi's reluctant look made her laugh. She reached out and ruffled the hair on his head, saying, I'll be back in a while. Supreme 5th Spirit Senior could not bear to see his son's ugly appearance. He grabbed his tail and threw him in a random direction. Simple and violent. Let's go, Supreme 5th Spirit Senior said. Okay. Supreme 5th Spirit Senior brought her to a mountain. Sima Yue realized that this was the area where she had swept through the place. Thinking about how she had moved so many of his clansmen away, she rubbed her nose in embarrassment. It's here, Supreme 5th Spirit Senior said. If we walk further, we will see a barrier, and that power is not always there. It will only react after a period of time. In half a day, it will be the next time. Let's wait here. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.